Yeah. You say trust your Quran, trust your Allah. But I got one question. Just one. Why don't you?
Trust your Quran, trust your Allah, but you rewrite when it gets harder. If none can change what he authored, why you doubt in every chapter? Trust your Quran, trust your Allah. Say it loud but think it's softer. If you don't trust what he offered, tell me why should I bother?
Quran says none can change my words, clear claim. Yeah, that goes the same. But then you say the books got changed, rearranged. Torah and Injil, corrupted in the game. Wait, pause, let me line that up straight. If God's words stand firm, they don't mutate. So either they're preserved or Allah miscommunicates. Both can't stand, that's a checkmate state. You say nah, it's just misunderstood text. But the Quran says those books were guidance, no less. 546:47, go ahead, read it next. So I reject what your own book bless.
Trust your Quran, trust your Allah, but you rewrite when it gets harder. If none can change what he authored, why you doubt in every chapter?
Quran says, ask the people of the book.
1094, go ahead, take a look.
So Christians had truth when Muhammad spoke, but now you say the scriptures broke. That's a timeline twist, that's a logic fraction. Truth don't expire like a dated chapter. If it was reliable, then what changed after? Did God lose control of his own dispatcher? And you say, nah, we follow the final revelation. But it confirms what came before, that's the foundation. So why deny the prior inspiration? You say God is all powerful, sovereign, supreme, but his words got lost somewhere in between. Or maybe, just maybe, the issue you see is not the book, it's the theology. Quran calls Jesus word of God, sent down.
417, yeah, that's in your town.
Born of a virgin, no earthly crown, but more than a prophet when you break it down. Sinless life, no record of blame. Raises the dead, speaks God's name. But you say nah, he's just the same as every other prophet in the frame. That don't sit right, that don't align. Your book gives him a different design. So either rethink or redefine, cause that contradiction's by design.
Trust your Quran, trust your Allah, but you rewrite when it gets harder. If none can change what he authored, why you doubt in every chapter? Trust your Quran, trust your Allah. Say it loud but think it's softer. It don't trust what he offered. Tell me why should I bother?
If your foundation shakes when examined, if your certainty fades when it's challenged, then don't ask me to stand on it with you.
If you don't trust your Quran, if you don't trust your Lord,
why should I?
Salam al-Masih to all of you amazing, beautiful brothers and sisters. God bless you. God bless you. Salam al-Masih. So I was asked a question about why do I focus so much on Islam? Why do I focus so much on Islam? Well, how else would I become a Muslim if I don't focus on Islam? If I'm focusing on Islam, and I find the answers in Islam, then guess what? I'll become a Muslim. If I can't find the answers, then guess what? I'm not going to become a Muslim. Now, the reason I also focus on Islam is that that's the only religion that is forcing its way into the world, like it's done for 1400 years, forcing its way into the world, forcing people to either accept it or be given, called names, forcing people to become Muslim and forcing people to accept the Sharia, accept Muhammad and accept the God of Islam. So because we are forced to do all this, I have to continuously focus on the biggest evil of mankind, Islam. I've got to focus on the biggest threat of mankind, Islam. and I've got to expose it. Now, I don't see the Jews attacking me. I don't see the Hindus attacking me. I don't see the Buddhists attack me. I don't see any of them attacking me. But the only ones that send me evil messages and hate this and hate that are who? The Muslims. The Muslims are the only ones that are continuously making videos and calling me out. So, because of the love I have for the Muslim, not for Islam, I will continuously try to share Islam with all of you in its true form. Now, those that haven't seen, we've got a new video that's over 5,000 views now, edited and for the Quora video. So that's taken off. That's cool. That's right. Jibril said it. You can only become a Muslim if Allah wills it, and Allah is not willing it. Unfortunately, Allah is not willing it. Now, on the screen, as you saw, we are now, Lenny, that's right, a man in a burqa. How do you know I'm a man? Did you see? Did you check? Or is it my voice? So instead of listening to what I'm saying, you're trying to focus on my looks. Now I understand why Islam tells the man or the woman to lower their gaze. To lower their gaze because they're so focused on the looks of a person, they forget about what the person is saying. Now, again, this is why we've got to warn the West, because the West is saying that these evil, sick, disgusting people are so focused on the dingy that... Thank you, Lenny. Thank you. Yes, my idea is to show people, and that was a good question you asked, because this will go back into it. The Muslims are so intrigued, so fascinated by looks. They don't hear the message because they are only thinking with their ding dong. Now, on the screen is a picture of 6 Muslims being brutally honest. 6 Muslims being brutally honest, and the video we're going to watch today is we're going to do a review of this video, and there's 6 Muslims. They're Nigerian, so forgive me if you guys are not well equipped in the African dialect. Now, when I say African, I guess a lot of Africans will understand the African dialects, depending, of course, where they come from. Now, these are Nigerians. We're going to be listening to them, 6 of them, and they being brutally honest. 3 men, 3 women. And it's an hour long, so I'm not going to interrupt every 5 seconds to let you see what they say, but pay attention. I'm going to stop every now and then, but pay attention to, there's an imam, then there's a very Muslim guy, and then there's a Muslim guy that is not really interested. He's married to a Christian girl. Then there's 3 women. There's one that's covered like me right now, like a ninja. There's one that's covered, but her face is showing. And there's one that's quite liberal. Now, you guys need to pay attention to all 6 of them with the views they have. Because now what is going to happen, there's going to be a question asked. And when the question is asked, they have to press a button to say whether they strongly disagree, somewhat disagree, somewhat agree, or strongly agree. Now, it's a very interesting conversation. The questions are very well put. The 2 to focus on is the imam and the liberal girl, and the guy that's married to a Christian. But please, guys, as I said, there is a video that's going on, and it is over 5,000 views so far. It's doing really well for itself, thanks to Elijah that edited it. And it's I mean, that's brilliant, because one of the comments was, now again, this is how people are, because remember the topic that I had was the true face of Korah. The guy actually thought that I'm going to dox her and show her face, and he was upset, sends me a private message, upset with me for lying to him, saying that I promised to show the face of a girl. I am not Maloink. That's not me. I'm not going to dox people. The real person, the real look, the real explanation of the real person is how they behave. That's how you see their true face, not the skin that we're looking at. This isn't the skin. This isn't the, I'm not sure why they're looking to find out what she looks like. Again, lower your gaze. Don't be interested in that. How are you, sir?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Brother, I'm confused. Are you Muslim or Christian?
I'm a Christian.
I'm a Muslim, brother.
Can you speak up? I can't hear you.
I'm a Muslim.
Okay, well done to you. Why are you Muslim?
Because I think, Prophet Muhammad is a true prophet,
Okay, so who told you he's a true prophet?
Who told it? Because of his examples,
So when marrying a child makes you a prophet?
Damn.
Does marrying a 6-year-old make you a prophet?
Damn, bro. You gonna go there, bro?
I'm asking you, does marrying a 6-year-old make you a prophet?
According to Islam, yes.
Okay, mashallah. Ladies and gentlemen, now you have it. If you marry a 6-year-old in Islam, that makes you a prophet. Mashallah. So
That's the only thing. That's the only thing.
oh, so he needs to marry a 6-year-old to be a prophet. What else does he need to do to be a prophet?
At least 4 wives.
At least 4 wives. So if you so for example, my neighbor, if he marries a 6-year-old and he has 4 wives, he's halfway to being a prophet.
No, he can have one of. He needs to have another plus 4 muta wives as well.
Okay, so he needs one of them as well. Yeah, there ain't no way that guy's a Muslim. Ain't no way he's a Muslim. Ain't no way he's a Muslim. Ain't no way. But anyway, guys, we're gonna get now back to it. I need you. It's a very interesting conversation we're going to watch. Remember what I said. 6 Muslims having a conversation, and we'll learn more about them. So please, hopefully it works. And I tested it, so my interweb should be working perfectly, and hopefully it doesn't, mess up. Let me just zoom out just a tad so you guys can get all of it. And there we go. So let me add it on the screen over here on YouTube. Please, guys, it's called James 007 and Topics. My music is out there. I've got music coming out almost every single day until July. Every day till July, I've got new music coming out. Please support the music. Share it. It's on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Share, download and share. But let's now watch 6 brutally honest people have a conversation.
Muslim women are suffering from depression. Ladies were mostly trained to build family. When you want to be like, I want to do more, they'll be like, you are doing too much.
We have medical doctors. We have engineers. It's an opportunity and freedom. You see women that are going Hajj more than men. If you are talking about marital problem, that one in Christian, it's the same thing.
Ladies were commanded to dress modestly for protection. Protection from who? From men? Because from what?
Do all Muslims think the same? These 6 Muslims will be tested with a series of difficult questions, and they'll be presented with a spectrum of options to choose from.
I need Sharia implementation 100% because Allah SWT said in the Quran, Islamic Sharia is only for the Muslim.
The statement that the Sharia is just for the Muslim, I don't support that, and I don't believe.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say it, but it's like animals are now being more human than we humans. Sharia give us many I don't want to say anything about Sharia because I'm
That expression, are you insinuating that there are elements of bad within Islam?
That's tempting. You don't want me to answer that, please.
No, answer is
okay,
yeah,
okay, the truth is nothing is perfect.
Nothing is perfect about Islam or about the Muslim.
Right.
Sorry, I feel like you shouldn't put him on the spot. If he doesn't want to answer.
How will they confront their different points of view? Being a Muslim in today's world comes with challenges.
So I'm just going to stop it there so we can read the question. So the question now is, being a Muslim in today's world comes with challenges. Remember, guys, if you guys can't hear or you don't understand, give me a quick thing. I'm trying to watch on both YouTube and TikTok. Let me know, and then I will do the translation for you because I speak African. Just kidding, man. But I might understand it and you catch on. But so the first question, being Muslim in today's world comes with challenges. Now, again, I want you guys to notice there's an imam on the right, the second on the right, and there's a woman, a liberal woman, and the big guy next to her on the left. These guys are extremely clear in their belief system. It's really fun to watch. I shouldn't have paused it, but
Challenges.
I picked strongly agree because being a Muslim nowadays is really, really challenging. First, as a man, making ends meet is already hectic, so keeping up with the 5 daily prayer is really hard. But at a point, I asked myself some questions because there's so many things I've read in the Quran that I feel like questioning, but I decided to just focus on the positive ones that I feel like I can use to navigate my life, which I think is better. Sometimes I think knowing too much is a burden. What I know I'll be proud of is what I'm trying to do right now.
But I chose agree. Outside of the general problems we face as humans, there are challenges that are specific to Muslims. The Prophet ﷺ told us that this world is a prison to the Muslims because the things other people of other faiths will be able to do, we as Muslims, we are restricted from such a thing. So the way the world is, we might see it as challenges.
My name is Mubajal Adile Abdukarim. I studied mechanical engineering. I run my little business on the side. The Prophet ﷺ, he said in a hadith, "Ad-dunya sijnul mu'min." So that means the life here is like a prison for the believers. We all know there are restrictions, everything. So basically, and as humans, we see those restrictions as challenges.
I chose agree. In the world of today, there are so many things that makes identifying as a Muslim challenging. Technology, putting on the hijab. I've had friends who will be like, you pray a lot just for praying 5 times a day.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. In life, you must face challenges. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said in the Quran too, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوءِ وَنَقْصٍ مِنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. Indeed, Allah is trying to try us in this our life, from loss of life, loss of health, and the other things. But God.
I just want to stop it there. Notice the introduction so far. Life is challenging. Life is a struggle. Life is prison. Life is a test. Life is not easy. Life is... Why would you go to prison when you could be free in Christ? I'm just saying. Why would you choose religion that tells you you're in prison when Christianity is saying you are free? You have been set free. But again, notice the trend of how depressing this religion is. So far, it's quite depressing.
God, at last of the verse, he gave good glad tidings to those who exercise patience in those calamities period. So challenges in life is inevitable.
I chose agree because being a Muslim, identifying as a Muslim, I have had a lot of challenges personally within myself. There's sometimes I often think that if I wasn't born a Muslim, I wouldn't be a Muslim. I feel like religion comes from a place that you have to find peace within yourself. And I'm trying to find that within myself right now. And, social media has made this even more difficult because you get to see different things and the people you follow, TikTok, you see different propaganda from both sides that, okay, this is what the Quran says, this is what the Bible says. Okay, how can the Quran be true if the Bible is not true? Things like that. Then you start questioning, what exactly is the truth?
That's the Islamic dilemma, people. That's the Islamic dilemma. How can the Islam be true if the Bible is not true? And notice again, the challenges that they're going through, it's because of Islam. It's not compatible with the West. It's not compatible with the East. It's not compatible anywhere. But it gets even more crazy.
My name is Aliyah. I'm a student of Lagos State University, studying guidance and counseling. I co-host the political podcast, Voice It's Podcast. To begin with, I feel like I'm a very loyal person to some principles that I've been brought up with. So I can't really separate who I am, my identity as a person, from Islam. My mom was a Christian. So if my mom had married a Christian, I most likely wouldn't be a Muslim. My mom is very religious. So I'll be brought up in the ways of a Christian.
Now this is why, guys, if you listen to her views, you'll notice how she goes against Islam. Throughout, she asks questions with a Christian mindset. And even though she's a Muslim, notice the type of Muslim she is.
I'll be so loyal. I would want to expand my knowledge in Christianity, basically.
I chose agreed. I chose to cover myself up. It's quite challenging going to a public event and you're the only one covered. Coming in, people will be like, who is she? Is she a ghost? Is she here to bump us? I would like to be like, let me move closer and probably get networking with these people. And they'll be like, oh, no, sorry, excuse me. And I'll be like, wow. So because I'm covered, I have to make sure that I motivate myself continuously, because keeping up with that faith at some point, you'll be like, does it really worth it?
Now notice she has to keep herself motivated all the time. So it's not coming naturally to her. She's motivating herself because it's so depressing and so negative that she has to motivate herself. So it's not, oh, I'm happy in the morning and I'm going to sing a good song and I'm going to walk outside and be, cheerful. No, over here, she's literally saying, man, being in this world today is depressing. It's hard being a Muslim in 2026, and I've got to motivate myself to be a Muslim. So Islam isn't the best motivation. She's not being motivated by Allah, by the Muslim. She has to do it herself.
My name is Aishat Abdul Kabir. I'm an entrepreneur for over 19 years. I help businesses with market research, project management, and analysis. I actually went to this event hoping that I can meet this particular person. She's like a high figure. And when I met her, she's friendly in the greeting. And when I'm like, okay, ma'am, this is what I do, I would be glad if you can probably allow me to be one of your mentees. And she's like, Aisha, what you're doing is interesting, but you're covered. I'm not sure. I don't think I want to be associated with you. I was shocked and I was disappointed because I was looking toward having something meaningful out of that meeting.
Now just remember, she met a Muslim woman. She said she was looking forward to this meeting to meet these women. So one of these women turned their back on her because she was dressed. Now, I don't agree that you need to, if you said to her, you need to dress better, but just to totally, wipe off and maybe this woman is intelligent and smart and she has something to offer. But you'll notice now that it's the way they are dressing that they're causing people to walk away from them. Now, whether this is correct or whether this is okay or not, this is individual. It might be awful to say that if a black man walked into a room and people turn their back on him because he's black, that wouldn't be nice for that black man. Now, if a Muslim walks in the room and everyone turns their back on him just because he's a Muslim, that wouldn't be nice for the Muslim. But she's going to Muslim woman. So a Muslim woman turns her back on a Muslim woman because of the way the Muslim woman is dressed, because they don't feel it fits into the societies we live in.
I disagree with what you said about life is hard on Muslim. I don't know, maybe it's African Muslim, life may be hard on them, but the Emirati Muslims, I don't think they know what life is hard is. They don't even know what hardship is.
I guess the question is not really about life being hard. It's about having challenges as Muslim. Can be cruising your life and you still have challenges as just being a Muslim.
Praying 5 times a day is a challenge to majority of the Muslims, especially in this Nigeria. Our economy in itself, the country in itself is not designed for people to pray 5 times a day. Imagine you're working in a corporate environment. You have to look for excuse that you want to go and pray. Some might want to be like, I don't want to always be the one that is, I need a break.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the video so far, now with the pop.
While he's doing that, he's doing the advert. I just want to say this. Can you imagine being an owner of a company, and after owning your company, you get people, you employ people, and then they come to work. And when they get to work, they're like, well, listen, 3 times in the day, I need to stop working and go and pray. So you, as the owner of the business, paying someone to come to work, watching these people say, I'm not going to work, I'm going to stay away from actual work so that I can go and pray. Dude, I'm like, no, pray on your own time. If your God demands that you stop, being normal and you need to face this Kaaba and pray, as a business owner, you to me are a liability. You're a problem. I'm losing money on you. So common sense says, why in the world would I get a Muslim to work for me if the Muslim is going to continuously take breaks and pray during the workday and make it my problem. Not only that, what about during the fasting? They make such a cry about, oh, poor me, I'm fasting. Oh, poor me. Oh, I'm tired today because I'm fasting. Oh, I can't concentrate because I'm fasting. Well, then hang on a second. Then quit your job, find something else to do so that I can get someone that's willing to focus on the job at hand. Now, a Christian at work can sit at his desk and say a prayer in any direction. He can pray, doesn't matter what he's doing, he can pray. But these guys feel so privileged that they themselves decided that, you know what I want to do? I want to go and work for a non-Muslim person so that I can, drain him of his monies and stuff. That was the first question. Now, get to the second one. Women in Islam have the same level of freedom and opportunities as men. Watch, I'm going to pause it when they agree or disagree.
Freedom and opportunity as men.
Okay, guy on the far left. Remember the question. Guy on the far left says somewhat agree. This girl, this is my girl, she says strongly disagree. He says strongly disagree. She says strongly disagree. Notice this dude, he's agreeing with everything Allah says. And then she disagrees. Let's see. Yep.
Who agree? Agree, Bao.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
Oh, just by the way, this guy will salam alaikum every time there's a reason for them to speak. He will salam alaikum them.
Only within few things that we didn't allow women. Number one, imamship. Number two, it's only this inheritance that I told you that man take two when woman take one. Number three, woman to travel except with the man, like a bodyguard. Her father, her husband, her brother, or any relative can go along with her. So this is the only places. But apart from that, everything woman do as man.
I strongly disagree. Logically and presently, as things are, I strongly disagree. But buttressing on what you said, from what I have learned in Islam growing up, Islam really, really balanced the equation. Like, it made it like men should protect their women and treat them right. Growing up, that is how it should be. But in this new generation that we're this 2025, a lot has changed. Okay, let me start from dressing. Men can dress freely, women can't really. We know, we feel it, we know that women are not as free as men. I want to hear from the lady before I go on, honestly.
I want to start with, it doesn't make much sense, but men can marry more than one wife, right? Women can't. Men have options. If this does not work for you, you start all over.
That doesn't work for you, start
with
all
another
over.
woman. A woman can't decide to leave her husband one day because there are so many things that are restricting the woman, her children, finances, what society will say. It's never the man is bad. It's always the woman must have done something. Girls, I can't speak to that because I don't experience it. I don't come from that kind of family. But there are some girls that their life is predestined. Since when they were small, they know who they are going to marry. They know what families they are going to marry into. I don't know if you guys are on TikTok for the ladies about this Ahmed XM and his wife.
Ahmed XM.
Yes, allegedly he has divorced the first wife now. And now people are in that girl's comment section day and night saying that, she was not a good wife. Like in the past now, we have that if a woman does not give birth to a male child, the man can marry another wife.
And she's not woman enough, so.
I don't think anybody realizes that it's not the woman's fault that the woman does not dictate the gender. All women have XX chromosome. So you not giving birth to a male, it's your own default. But we are not educated. Every single fault has been placed on the woman right from the outset. I can't go back to my dad's house today and say, okay, I'm not interested in getting married today. They'll be like, no, you want to keep. But man, he's taking his time. Women, you don't have time. See, if your light dies, you on gen. That's just the thing. Don't let anybody pressure you to get it. Your touchlight is not even enough.
Touchlight.
I just want to stop it there. Remember, the topic is women in Islam have the same level of freedom. The Imam that spoke first debunked the idea. He debunked the idea. This woman is literally giving an example of every single Muslim in a modern society and the troubles they face being a Muslim in a modern society. So she is now literally telling them how zero freedom she's got when it comes to this religion. The guy next to her agrees.
Exactly.
In Islam too, in an household as a lady, they believe a lady should not pursue career. Man can pursue career. So ladies were mostly trained to build family. When you want to be like, I want to do more, they'll be like, you are doing too much. And most of the men now, they are not responsible. And that's why you see many Muslim women are suffering from depression, especially those that they were not allowed to do some of the things they wanted to do.
Our sisters and brother,
Before he goes on, I'm sorry to jump in again. The girl in my favorite girl, the one with the pink, I think it is, and the big black guy with the bald black guy next to her. That girl's mother is a Christian. This is why you see that she's questioning. The guy next to her, his wife is Christian. And notice how the two of them, having Christian influence, question Islam, and especially when it comes to this type of nonsense or Islam itself.
Agreed. The examples they gave, it's people problem, not Islam problem. There's nowhere in the Quran or the Sunnah that the Quran says the family will marry somebody regardless, and after you cannot choose anyone after, or a woman, this is the person you marry. In Islam, the consent for the wife to be is part of what makes the marriage valid.
But do you think we can separate Islam from the people? We can't separate Islam from Muslims.
The question is,
beautiful question.
In Islam, women have the same
opportunity
and freedom. So we are meant to.
So notice that you can't separate Islam from everyday and life and, cities and countries and whatever. You can't separate it. It's one and the same. But look at how he's trying to make it make sense. This is the Muslim mind. And again, a man, the question is, women in Islam have the same level of freedom. Girl on the right-hand side there just said, no, we don't. The man is saying, yes, you do. So once again, she is being dominated by a male voice to tell her, of course you have freedom.
To look at what exactly is that Islam is pushing forward, not the way the people do it. Does Islam give them same freedom and opportunity? I should have chosen strongly agree, but I decided to choose somewhat agree because I realized that in the Quran, when they were talking about the story of Isa and Maryam, there's a verse there Allah said, "Walaysa dhakaru kal untha." Male and female, they are not the same. So being that they are different, so that means the level of freedom and all will somehow differ, but that's depending on the role each person has. So in that role you play, are you giving freedom? Yes. But if you want to come to this other role, no, this is not your role. There's a book I read one time, very recent, Telbisul Iblis, like the deception of Shaitan, of the devil. One of the deception is regarding to females and all. And we are seeing this right now with the whole movement of equal and everything is wanting to say.
So equal and everything equal is from the devil. So everything you see these days, nowadays, is evil, and it comes from the devil because this, of course, is not in Islam. This is definitely not in Islam. He's like a mini sheikh, a mini imam.
The women, you too, you can be like the men. No, you are meant to be a woman. You are not meant to be a man. You made mention of a woman marrying and all. That's a ruling of Allah. Almighty Allah knows the reason why He made the rule that way. If you don't agree, that's
Allah.
It has nothing to do with freedom and all. Almighty Allah puts the funding of the house financially on the man. The woman should not do anything. Is that not Allah favoring the woman higher than the man? If you watch Cruise's program, when they are doing their dating something, 50-50. In Islam, there's nothing like 50-50.
The major reason I disagreed was the gender roles when it comes to marriage. When a lady marries, like there's a stop to a career, especially when child comes in. Why the man can still go ahead, pursue his career.
That's biology now.
Everything is sacrifice, let's be honest. That's the balance. I'm married, I won't want my wife to feel less of herself because she's married to me, so she can accomplish what she wants to. When a lady is pregnant, the best thing the man can do is protect her. You're there for her, you cook for her, you do everything. And then she
That's
delivers.
if the man is like that.
No, I'm still going there.
that?
I'm still going there because now there are some men that are not raised to be men. That's a big problem that nobody's talking about.
And they are much more in the Muslim community.
I know.
She just took that bus and drove over all the Muslim men. He said, there's some men that are not raised to be men. And she said, yep, that's in the Muslim community. You see, they look at the Muslim men as effeminate. They look at these Muslim men as if they're not stepping up to the plate. So she hit the nail on the head and says, yeah, you're right. You know, these men aren't brought up to be men. And, you know, all we have to do is look at the Muslim men. So she, even in a ninja outfit like mine, she is clear in her what she thinks of Muslim men. Continue, please.
Wallahi, they are much more in the Muslim community.
Wallahi, there's more in the Muslim community. Wallahi. So why marry a Muslim man then, sis? Why marry a Muslim man if the Muslim men are so pathetic and weak?
Community, they pamper their wife most.
Most of those Muslim men, I don't know, probably it's the way they were raised. Some of them believe that a woman do not have any right to be happy.
I'm going to stop it there. Sorry again. A lot of the Muslim men believe that the women don't have a right to be happy. No way. I just lost my TikTok. No way. Guys, I'm sorry. My TikTok, I just got banned. Wow. I got banned on TikTok. You can't make this up. How does it get, how do you get banned watching a video? What did I say anything? Did I say, I'm just repeating what the woman said. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable how weak and pathetic and useless TikTok is. What a weak app. What an absolute weak, pathetic, useless, shite app TikTok is. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So TikTok got banned my channel. My James 007. Unbelievable that I got banned. Oh my goodness. This is what happens when you're working with an app that is so sensitive. It's so effeminate. My goodness. Unbelievable. Anyway, so that was my TikTok gone on a bit of a Hajj moment there. My TikTok account is now circling the Kaaba. But let's continue. Notice, I'm just reading what the woman is saying, not me saying it. We're watching a video. TikTok's gone. We have to use the backup account. But anyway, that's why I say, please, guys, go to the YouTube. The YouTube is The Agents 007. YouTube, The Agents 007. Not going to get hit on YouTube. They already banned me on YouTube for getting monetized. What else are they going to do? You know, it's fine. When you hated, you hated. Christ said they hated me first. You know, there we go. Already, TikTok gave me an appeal. TikTok hit me with the hate speech already. I just started the TikTok, guys. But anyway, let's continue. Let's see what else she has to say. So they're talking about the right to be happy. Imagine having to ask permission to be happy. Imagine not knowing that you're allowed to be happy. Imagine not knowing that, people.
Because when you tell someone to just be by herself at home, not working, probably you be the one providing. There's nothing wrong if you can provide all her needs, but there should be times that she herself will be able to explore. When you automatically put her there, taking care of the kids, taking care of you, then like you're taking the greatest part of her life away, which is like her happiness.
But look at her. She's talking about happiness and being free, and then she puts herself behind a veil. She puts herself behind a veil and she's talking about being happy and free. She just complained earlier that it doesn't work in society. It doesn't fit in the Western society. It doesn't fit in. And then she's questioning about herself. This is crazy. So in Islam so far, this lady says that some people don't have the right or don't know that they have the right to be happy. Timothy hit the nail on the head. Imagine saying to your husband, please, sir, can I be happy? Got banned, Ira. Oh, hate speech again, guys. One more. Sorry. Let's continue.
I don't think Muslim men are really doing well in that regard.
One of my teachers used to say, women are the most rational beings. But when it comes to marriage, they lose their rationality. And she might have seen one or two people, maybe people within her environment that happen to be Sunni or that didn't project it well. Because me, I know people used to say that, they enjoy their husbands better. So those ones, I think if you can call her, that what are those ones that she's talking about? Maybe they need to be given as she's doing.
Now look at his response to this, right? Look at his response. Those that are not making their woman happy and stuff, what should happen to them? Maybe they should be lashed. Imagine that. Maybe they should be lashed. I don't know. Does that sound like instead of, no, maybe we should educate them? No. Let's go straight to what Islam teaches. Let's go straight to the violence. Let's just lash them. Let's go straight to the lashes, people. Let's not do anything educational where they may learn and then share the knowledge of what we've just taught them. No, let's not do that. Why don't we just lash them? MashaAllah.
One of the Khalifa of the prophets.
It is the Christians that are not marrying those men now.
Thank you.
Honestly, because the Muslim women don't want to marry those men, they feel like they are not Muslim enough. Meanwhile, they have the good potential of a good husband, a good man, but they are not Muslim enough. I have a lot of Muslim friends that are married to Christian. I'm serious. I'm one of them too.
You know what he said? A lot of my Muslim friends are married to Christian, right? Listen.
Those men now.
Thank you.
Honestly, because the Muslim women don't want to marry those men, they feel like they are not Muslim enough. Meanwhile, they have the good potential of a good husband, a good man, but they are not Muslim enough. I have a lot of Muslim friends that are married to Christian. I'm serious. I'm one of them too. That's where there's beauty in diversity. Like now, I can't get married to let's say I met her, she's the CEO of her own company, and I say, oh, I love her, and she says she loves me too, and I say, oh, drop your company now. Okay, let's say maybe she's even making like 500k per month. I'm making 100k per month. We're not married. And now I'm not looking for, no.
Let me give you one scenario that happened. I have this marital WhatsApp group. So there's this lady that came on like 3 years back. So she just got married like 2 months after. Then she now came to the WhatsApp group. She's like, we should help her. This is what she's experienced. I don't know her physically. When they're about to get married, they were in the north too. So she's earning like 150k. And then the husband is earning 30k. A month after the wedding, then the husband is like started giving her attitude. He doesn't like how she goes out to her work every day. She has to resign and probably come and start working at the street bus stop. That would be like she doing POS. It's not as if you wanted to buy a POS. So he said there is one of those people doing POS business at the bus stop. They needed the staff that they'll be paying 15k. The marriage is not looking like marriage to her again because she refuses to quit and the house is not housing. And when I mentioned that majority of Muslim, that's like 60% of them, they are not responsible. I'm not talking about general Muslims. So when I'm talking about majority of those that are not responsible, they are in the Sunni, they are those that take religion so serious.
So they are the Sunni. They are the Sunni that don't take the religion too seriously. The Sunni don't take it seriously. Why wouldn't they take it seriously? Because let's face it, the Sunni listen to what Muhammad said as opposed to what Allah said. That's why I keep saying, guys, Allah is the God of Islam and Muhammad is the God of the Muslims. So she's saying, problem is with those that are Sunni. Sorry, Sunni people, man. This is all she's saying to you guys, man.
I'm talking to you from experience.
And just by the way, TT, if you guys can share the live, please, on TT. I've been restricted, I think, on sharing the lives for people to find it. Gifting is already suspended and hit with 2 hate speech. Now, again, notice again, please, guys, 6 different Muslims and how they themselves aren't, glorifying Islam. They're complaining about Islam.
Because I live within Sunni community. I grew up with them. Most of my friends that got married to Sunni, one of them, if you're on call, if her husband should come in, she has to hang up. Even WhatsApp, she can't do. And they are educated. That's the most annoying part.
30,000.
Well, hang on. Notice what she said. They educated, and that's the most annoying part. Meaning, when you're educated and a Muslim, then it's a struggle to be a Muslim because you educated. To be a Muslim, they're literally asking you to dumb yourselves down that much that you don't continue thinking, because an educated woman will leave. I mean, you saw the guys, Imam Sheikh Now, Imam Asim said, if a woman is educated and she earns more than you, then how can you control her? If a woman is educated and she earns more than you, how can you control her? So Islam is all about the control that the man has over the wife so that she is subservient to him, so that she bows down to him, and that she obeys him like she would Muhammad and she would Allah.
I don't know, 30 times 5 is 150, 5 times the salary, but you want to drop it and you're now confused. Like, what should you do? It's very simple. Just pack your load one day and get out. That's the best thing to do.
See what he said? Pack your load and get out. If a man tells you to go from 150 to 30 or even 15, pack your stuff and walk away. So why don't you just walk away from Islam then? Because it's Islam that's causing this behavior. You have to go to the head of the snake. You can't cut the tail of the snake off to spite the snake. No, you cut the head of the snake off so that you're taking away the poison. You've got to get rid of the poison. What is the poison?
Don't even waste time. It's less than a year. So you're still in time save 9.
The topic is same opportunity and freedom. If you are talking individually, we will remain here, we will not go. I mentioned it earlier that there is only 3 places that women has no opportunity. Apart from that one, we have medical doctors. It's an opportunity and freedom. We have engineers. It's an opportunity and freedom. You see women that are going Hajj more than men. So all these are opportunity. If you are talking about marital problem, that one in Christian is the same thing. In the non-Muslim is the same thing. Muslim are also the same thing. Me, I am married to 2. I'm imam, you know. I have 11.
Look how he justified it. Me, I'm married to 2. You know, I'm an imam, no? I'm an imam, no? It's okay. I'm an imam. Of course, I can have 2 wives. Don't worry, my brother. I can have 2 wives. It's not a problem for me because I am an imam. And because I'm an imam, I can.
11 children. My children are going to school.
11 children. 11 children. Why? Because he's an imam and he got 2 wives.
Oversee not only here. They go here, they go there. You understand? So they have all the opportunity. Husband may be rich, that his wife cannot work. That one day different. But you are handicapped, you don't have. And your wife is doing work. You say she should quit the job. She stay at home. That one is not advisable anyway. It's a cheating.
My name is Nodrat. I work as a facility manager. I'm a Muslim. I'm not so knowledgeable, so my opinion might not be, let's say, the consensus, like the legit opinion. So I'd just rather remain calm, say little, and not get judged.
Now, listen again. She's a Muslim and she says, I don't know much. I'm Muslim. I don't know much. Now, this for me is a problem. I found this out too late. Man, hang on a second. More hate speech. Just get rid of that. So why, you know, I started late to actually open my Bible. I've always been a follower of Christ. I've always been a Christian. Just took me a while to actually decide, you know, after I was chasing my own lusts, my own desires, to stop and, you know, find out. Now, these people are dressing like this and saying, I'm not knowledgeable. And you'll see she's not later on in this video.
I was supposed to choose agree because actually Islam has made life easier for females. I don't have to.
Islam has made life easier for females, ladies and gentlemen. Do you see why I said she doesn't understand much? Oh, thank you, Mick. The venom of the snake. When I said the poison, you see how you understood I meant the venom? But thank you for correcting me there. Yes, snakes have venom, guys. And the venom is poisonous.
To work, my father is meant to provide, my brother is meant to provide, my husband is meant to provide. Even when it comes to inheritance, the man gets more, but I don't have to spend out of my inheritance.
Notice how the justification again. Oh, come on, man. If there's Muslims that's in the chat, in the UTT, if you're a Muslim, stop reporting, please. Stop reporting. Move on to a Muslim site. Go to a Muslim, someone that's giving dawah or something. Please stop reporting, guys. Don't like it, just, pack your bags and move on.
Women do not have freedom. I'm still strongly against it.
Man married woman. Now, so I've been, not be woman married man. And all the prophet of God, no woman. All of them are men. So can you question God? So God.
Notice again, man equal to God. Prophet equal to God. Again, he's equivocating. He's letting you see how man is above the woman, almost equal to God.
God choose them and put them ahead. Then the generation follow. So it is the system. And if you married, we come to your house, your wife controlling you, am I be happy? Will your mommy be happy? Will your daddy be happy? Your wife is controlling and you are the owner of the house. No. So I beg, no, I never finished. But in the matter of spending, if we find that it's your woman that's spending, you say you are irresponsible because it is your duty to take care of that woman, her children, and the house.
I don't fully agree, but there are some points he mentioned that I do agree with. Men and women are different. Even biologically, we are different. We have different strength. But women should have a choice. It shouldn't be a freedom. It shouldn't be an opportunity. It shouldn't be something you'd be like, okay, we gave you this freedom. No, it shouldn't be like that. We should all have the same rights. Even amongst men, there are so many men that they don't have the same strength as other men do. So are we going to say they are likened to women because they don't have the same strength?
The Imam is making him look as if it is right for the women to just be at home.
I'll tell you what, these women, and this is what's sad, this hurts me, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Watching educated Muslim women, watching these educated women have to dumb themselves down, make excuses, and then remain in the religion of Islam. So she's laughing at the Imam, but that's what Islam teaches.
Making an example of those rich people that most of them, their wife don't need to work. Even if your husband is a billionaire, you have like a choice if you want to be at home or you want to engage in some other activities.
In the Quran, we are taught that the males are the protectors of the female. I see it as more or less telling the man that if your wife needs to go somewhere, then you are the one that are not free to live your life. You have to be with her. So why are we not seeing it from that spectrum?
The media unfairly associates Islam with terrorism.
So I'm just going to pause it there so we can all read it again. They moved on now to the next question. These 6 Muslims are asked the question, the media unfairly associates Islam with terrorism. I'm going to pause it again when they've chosen whether they strongly disagree, somewhat disagree, or whether they strongly agree. So we can see how these people address the question of, does the media unfairly associate Islam with the T word? So we've got strongly agree, somewhat agree, strongly agree, agree. So they're all basically saying that the media portrays Islam. So it's not that Islam is at fault, it's the media portraying Islam to be at fault.
I strongly agree. 2000, yeah. And I think September 11, yeah. A lot happened at that time, and I did a lot of research because of that. The bombing happened, Muslims are covering their face all over everywhere. Some people are even beating up Muslims in some countries. But almost the whole world lost somebody in World Trade Center when it happened. Started doing my research, and I'm like, why do they make it look like Muslims are the one behind this? I can't talk about the truth, but I know the truth. It has nothing.
I can't talk about the truth, he said. I can't talk about the truth, but it has nothing to do with Muslims. So 9/11 had nothing to do with the Muslims, according to him. July 7th, London, had nothing to do with Muslims. All the attacks we see in the world, where they scream Allahu Akbar, has nothing to do with Muslims. This is, now again, media. Now the media is different from country to country. If you're in Europe, they might not focus too much on certain things, whereas if you're in Africa, they do, and maybe not in the US and yada yada. But again, that's right, the Paris attacks as well. So, but my whole point is, the media in 3 different countries, for example, whether it's the UK, France, and Spain, will look at things differently, depending on who's in government. The UK is absolutely botched. The UK has surrendered to Islam. Keir Starmer is a cuckold for Islam. I mean, this dude has been written by more zut than anyone else you can imagine. Then you've got, for example, France, banning the burqa, yada yada. So depending on the country you come from, the news you're going to get is according to the government pushing it. Yes, the Bondi was just not so long ago. What happened on Bondi? Did the guy scream Allahu Akbar? Or did he say Jesus Akbar? Now, we'll just continue and listen. I just want to listen to them.
With Muslims. But it's sad how after then there have been a lot of movies showing Muslim as terrorists. It's an agenda, obviously. Anything good, there's always an agenda against it. The good part of Christianity too is against it. The good part of eating healthy is against it.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi.
The media are not doing fair to the Muslim, associating them with terrorism. Other countries invaded other countries, and those one, it happened to be European to other African and Asia. And no one of this country are tarnished as terrorists. In the history, we have heard that 500 years back, the European brought 400,000 guns into Africa for us to fight each other, have a captive for them as a slave to go and work for them there. 1897, what the British did to Benin, they invade them and kill many, destroy so many things, and they arrested the Oba and sent him to exile. The Sultan of Sokoto was killed. Emir of Kano arrested and deported and sent to Lokoja. Emir of Katsina. All those are history of Christian Western world fight against those who don't fight them. And
I'm going to stop there before he goes on to the World War. Notice again, he brought in the word Christian. But if you look at the Bible, then the question would be, show me in the Bible. Don't show me Christians. Show me Christ. Show me the Bible where the Bible says, go and conquer all those countries by the sword. Go and attack all those countries and make all those countries Christian by force. You can't find that in the Bible, but you can find that in Islam. You can find that in the Quran, where it says, fight them until they all accept Allah as their God. Fight them until they are all Muslim. Now, who was selling the African slaves to the white man that came to the shores? It was other black people. It was the Arabs that was trading slaves at the time of Muhammad, and he's talking about 400 or 500 years ago. Remember, according to scripture, according to Islamic scripture, it says that Muhammad was buying and selling slaves, black slaves, trading them like the Black Friday deal, 2 for 1. 2 for 1. Muhammad he started the Black Friday. He's the one that bought 2 for 1. He's the one that gave them a discount on black slaves. But now this guy is talking about 500 years ago, when 1400 years ago, his God and his prophet was saying, go and conquer the lands. Muhammad said, I was made victorious. How? Through terror. Through terror. So you can't find it in my scripture. And this is how Muslims are converting these other Muppets, because these people don't know scripture. You can't show me a verse in the Bible where it says, go and conquer every land by force and force them and baptize them and make them believe, or else you unalive them, give them the 3 options to either convert, pay a jizya, or unalive them. Nowhere will you find it, but yet you'll find that in Islamic doctrine. So that was a boom shakalaka, checkmate for the lying guy that did a whataboutism.
we have World War First, World War Second, and the other war here, Cambodia here, and there, all by
Christian. Again, listen to the ignorance of this imam. This is why we do these. When the people say to me, why are you talking about Islam? It's because we've got to correct their history. We've got to correct the lies that they keep on spewing out in this vile way to try to seem so, oh, it's poor me. It wasn't really us. It was them. I mean, look at them. It's okay what we doing. Focus on what they doing. Come on. God Logic yesterday was asked a question about Paul. Some guy said to God Logic in London, he said, Paul unalived so many people. And God Logic said, yes, but Muhammad unalived more Jews and Christians than Paul. And Islam has unalived more people than any other religion in the entire world. So yesterday, Avery cooked this guy when he tried to be smart about Paul. And at the end of it, man, he just got a boom shakalaka when Avery said, yeah, your prophet was zooted. I think I'm 100% sure Chris Claus is going to do a live on that part, talking about how the guy tried to be smart and logic took him there. He said, yep, in front of all the Muslims. He says, you keep insulting. I'm warning you now. Stop insulting. I have the videos on my page, guys. On my banned account. I don't know if that account's 100% gone, but on that account. Let's keep watching.
Christian. I watched the last king of Russia that was brought in a room with his family and shot dead with the babies done by Christian West. And those people are now called terrorists. The 9/11, we know, we will say we don't know again because the world is too far. Abi, we don't know who and who did it. But all what we are hearing after the mass, they are not Muslim, they are not those one, they are not like this, they are not like that. And this Boko Haram, I didn't say they are not Muslim, those who started it. But who brainwashed them? Even the gun they are fighting, it's a Western technology. The media are not fair to us.
He just called out Boko Haram. Boko Haram. He went to Boko Haram. And what books do they read, Sheikh Imam? Please tell me, what book do they read and who was it that brainwashed them? You brushed that off, dude, like it was dust on your shoulder. You should have focused on it, man, coward.
We are not terrorists. All the people that are killing people in America and Canada would go and enter school, start killing, mass killing, and the other one. We never had one of them called terrorists. But if it is a Muslim, it's terrorist. So please, it's not fair.
Who are the people that control the media? Definitely not the Muslims. And we also know what terrorism is. I think they said using of force for a political need or something like that. If we look at it most of the times, the people that the so-called media, terrorists, these are people that are either fighting for maybe like a defensive reaction to whatever that they have been subjected to. If a Muslim guy does something, they will even put the tribe, Northern Muslim kills something.
Mm-hmm.
But if it happened in the eastern side, or I say youths of Kinikon, they just give it a name and not add it with the religion or the tribe. And Almighty Allah has told us in the Quran also that the Jews, the Christian, and people of other religion, they would not be pleased with us until we leave the path of Islam. So I think that's just one of their plots. Okay, let's look at our social media. For example, the Facebook, the X, and if we also look at, the traditional medias, the CNN, it's quite in the open that it's run by the Jews. And apart from that, the other media we have, the radio, even the movies, the games, all the CODs and all, they're part of the media and they are run by.
What did Islam create in the last 100 years? So yes, everything is created by someone that's not Muslim, mate. Everything is created by someone that's not Muslim. What has Islam contributed in the last 200 years to us? In the last 500 years, mate? Since Muhammad, tell us what inventions you Muslims have done for us, have made for us. What can I use or go to that is made by Muslims? Even the oil that the Muslims are drilling, that the Arabs are drilling for, they needed the USA to do that. They needed the Norwegians, they needed the Danish, the English to help them because they were daif in their understandings and in their knowledge. They were daif, they were weak. They had no idea on how to do anything. So they had to import intelligence to the region to show them how to drill for oil. Show me one thing that the Muslims have done for us, mate.
The non-Muslims, which majority, should I say, are the Jews.
The media was formed in the beginning from the West, and the West are the superpower of the world. So whatever they are doing it how to sell themselves. Propaganda here and there. If you are with them, you are a good person. If you are not with them, you are a bad person.
I agree with what everyone has said. When two people perpetrate an act, an evil act, the Muslim is termed the terrorist, while the other person isn't. I just feel we are not given equal chances, we are not given equal opportunities. They just assume that any Muslim who does something bad is a terrorist.
I don't do social media from the beginning. I just started in 2022. Where I grew up, they're like, don't do social media at all. because there are a lot of evil things there and don't expose yourself to it and so on. After school, I started going to different events. And when I said I do this, I do that, people will be like, do you have a social media page? Can I see some of your previous work? And then I started creating content gradually. And last year, there's this challenge going on TikTok. Of course, this is what I do. Then I created of course, I'm in a Kobe. I can't hug opposite gender. The video went like, I can't say viral, like 30K plus views. And so many people come for my neck in the comment section. And some people are like, who be this masquerade that is talking? I'm like, I don't understand. Do I look like a masquerade? Why would you be telling me that I'm a masquerade? You know, the way they treat Islam and Muslim women that covers, it's not fair. If sometimes you are not having a good mood and just like go through some of your previous comments, you just be like, why am I even doing this? Let me just stay off social media completely.
Sorry, this is a very controversial hot take of mine, but sometimes I do understand where they are coming from. But the media unfairly treats Muslims. Yes, it happens. For example, CBC, it's a Christian broadcasting channel, of course. Every single time I go onto YouTube, the first video that pops up on my screen is Boko Haram kills women in Nigeria. This, that. Yes, I see it. And then we go to Al Jazeera too. We see Jewish people are doing this. Everybody See, the media is just who can do propaganda most. You pick and choose what you want from the media. Some organizations, Muslim Islamic organizations, haven't exactly dispelled the bad name that we have. Take 9/11, for example, October 7th. We have the Nakba, we have the Intifada, we have Jihad, we have so many. We haven't exactly dispelled this bad name for us. So what exactly are we doing?
Listen to her question. Again, this is why she's the smartest one in that whole panel. What are we doing? She says, okay, if they're saying all of this stuff, what are we doing? And this would be a question. If someone was attacking the Christians, then we need to prove that this is not Christianity. We need to prove that this is outside of our belief system. But the question is then, are the Muslims actually doing that? No. They go and do it again. And then they do it again and again and again. And then they go, hang on a second. These guys are unfairly treating us because they're saying that we do this all the time. They will judge you by your actions, you Muppets. But she's smart, man. Go on, go.
We have Hamas, we have Boko Haram, we have the ISIS, we have Islamic Brotherhood, we have so many more organizations like that. Even the Taliban, you could put a bullet to my head and I still wouldn't change it because I do get it. If I were a Christian, okay, I was affected by 9/11. Do you think I'm going to have an open mind towards Muslims coming after that? Seeing so many things making rounds on the internet and some people say they want to globalize the Intifada. It's scary for me even as a Muslim because I have so many. My favorite cousin is a Christian. As a Muslim, I'm safe. I can walk 100% to the north and be there. I'm safe because I'm a Muslim. But what about Christians? Christians die every single day. Boko Harams, this and that. I do understand where the media might be coming from sometimes, but they overdo it.
There is really nothing to understand. An average Nigerian is misinformed. The media basically is not just working on its own. There are people behind it. It's all propaganda.
And there was one person that said, when we were arguing about this, that made me start changing my stance. She was like, do you want to tell me you'll be on a plane right now? Somebody will shout Allahu Akbar. And the first reaction you get is, okay, is this person a Muslim? Then I was like, it depends on where exactly I am at that moment. If it's in the midst of Muslims, I wouldn't be scared. But if it's in the midst of Jewish people or Christians, and someone shouts Allahu Akbar, I'll be like, what's going on? That's your first reaction. And
now notice that. Now, man, this is why I dig this girl. She's literally saying what we think. If I was walking down in a market somewhere and some dude yelled Allahu Akbar, I would be one of those a group of people that's going to try and take him down. Or I'm going to run. Because following Allahu Akbar isn't a hug, isn't a handshake, isn't a, come and eat at my house. No. History has proven that these people, when they shout that word, when they shout those words, there's something negative following. There's something negative coming out. And that would normally be a boom shakalaka. And, the Islam is left in pieces. I mean, there's, religion of pieces. But notice that this is why I like her. She's asking smart, intelligent questions. And I'm still in shock that she's still a Muslim. Because she's literally going against Islam over and over and over.
It's based on what the media always shows, that anytime the terrorist attack wants to go on, it's Allahu Akbar. That's the first thing you hear.
The Muslims are trying their best to dissociate ourselves from all those organizations. If you look at Al-Qaeda, he was raised in US. All those that fight along with him, They are not raised in Muslim countries. Most of them are from there. Saying that Muslims are not saying, we are saying, I am Imam. And our mosques, we condemn. And that's the only thing we will do because we are not government. You have Masalachi, you have church, you go there and talk so are bad. People should fear God and abstain, stay away from it.
I'm so sorry. I don't want it to look as if I'm against, but I'm a very logical person and I don't like adding my personal bias to things. There's this mosque in UK. I think it has been shut down recently. The imam is always preaching the intifada. They want to bring the intifada to the UK. And mind you, the UK is not an Islamic country. It's a Christian country. They've been Christian for hundreds of years. When you move to another country, you adapt to their rules and regulations. You adapt to their culture. And if you know it's not convenient for you, leave and go back home. And the mosque has gotten to a state where they were harassing a police officer. I think they were 13 and 12-year-old boys harassing a police officer. They're like, because our imam told us to. But why are you preaching violence all the time? Why are you preaching that, okay, if anybody does this to you, you do your own back in a country that is not even yours? You are here on visa. Not everybody condemns those acts. That's what I want you to. I can't recall the state exactly, but I will show you when we are done. The imam was preaching that infidels should be killed. And he said this on a live stream. So while you condemn it, there are some people that do nothing to dispel this.
She made mention of stuff like Hamas, Taliban, and all. Going by history, how did the Taliban start? So at least, according to what the media says, when the USSR wanted to attack Afghanistan, so the Taliban were just like an Islamic organization doing
civil
their
organization.
own. Yes, civil. Nothing with political gains or leadership and all. So it was the United States that came, okay, you guys have this structure. Let's give you the military might and all to fight these people against taking your land. According to the definition of terrorism, I don't see anywhere they fit into it.
As much as you would argue that it's their way of life, well, initially it started out as an innocent group, but now it's no longer innocent. We can't keep on justifying that the US, we can't keep on blaming other people for our problem.
Do you see why I like this girl? You can't keep on blaming other people for our problems. None of them so far has addressed the Quran. This is what's shocking. Notice Imam could have said, let me show you the verses where it says, do not fight the Christians and Jews. Live peacefully with them. Do not attack them. Do not force them into believing your religion. Let them enjoy their lives. Let it be. You know, they want to go to the verse where it says, to you, your religion. To me, my religion. But if we read it in context, it's talking about the Jews, not talking about the Muslims. And that as well was stolen from scripture before it. So now we blame everybody else but Islam. None of them have opened that book so far to prove what it actually says. Keep tapping, guys. Tap and share, guys. Tap the like button.
It might be their culture, but when does the blame game stop? These girls are no longer going to school past grade 6. Even birds have more freedom than girls in Afghanistan.
Even birds have more freedom than girls in Afghanistan. Grade 6. What are you in grade 6? Grade 6. How old are you guys? If you are in grade 6, you are, what are you, 10, 12? What are you, 12 years old in grade 6? 10, 12, 10? 10, 12. Yeah, okay. So between 10 and 12, we'll take the average of 11. 11 years old at grade 6. Guys, 10, 11, 12, grade 6. That's it. You're not going to be educated anymore. Remember what Imam said. The Sheikh Asim said on the video I showed you guys on Friday, or maybe it was last week Friday. He said that why would an educated woman be with a Muslim man? She will want her independence. She was not needing him. He only needs her so that he can control her. If she has more money than her, and if she has more education than him, then she won't need him. But again, this is why this woman is so smart, and it's because her mother's a Christian.
Afghanistan nowadays, women dying, Masa Amini died because she didn't wear a hijab properly. Where exactly is the breaking point for these people? Is this the culture or is it Islam?
And apart from that, you also said a lot of people are not dispelling it. Let me give you an example. In India, this year, last year, a lot of cases where Hindus killing Muslims. You rarely see any Hindu festival where they don't kill Muslims. You rarely.
This guy wants us to believe that Muslims have a festival where they unalive Muslims. The Hindus go unalive Muslims because they have a festival now, guys. They created a festival. Why are the Buddhists, people that are sworn not to even unalive an ant, that Buddhists that set, how you say, appreciate life, Buddhists are fighting Muslims? Every nation that has ever lived on earth that has encountered Islam has fought Islam, Muslims. Every single nation. Muslim nations themselves are fighting each other because of Islam. Whether it's the Shia, whether it's the Sunni, they themselves are fighting each other. So if Muslims can't live with Muslims in Muslim countries, how in the world can any other country put up with Muslims? Any other country in the entire world, why should they put up with a religion that even Muslims can't put up with?
You see any Muslim festival in India where the Hindus don't kill Muslim. If you go to Bhutan, the monks there, they kill the Muslim. In Myanmar, Chinese people, they are brutalizing the Uyghur Muslims and all. So when all these things happen, we don't see any word terrorism used in the media. Some years back, so I think New Zealand or Australia, a guy went on live streaming, took a gun, went to the mosques, shot people. I don't know, but I can say it that I don't think any Muslim media attributed terrorism to that case.
I
also.
wasn't saying the Muslim channels label terrorism. I was saying that every channel, irrespective, even TVC, they are going to put out what fits their image. The Al Jazeera too, they're also going to portray things the way they want it to be portrayed. Do you understand? In a way that that goes with their values and beliefs and principles.
Okay.
Do you understand? That was what I was trying to say. But yeah, that was an interesting thing. Thank you very much.
I will personally support the full implementation of Sharia law in my country.
Okay, now this one is an interesting one. Now we're going to find out about the Sharia. Remember, we've got 3 women, 3 men. All of them are different, from an imam to a liberal, woman to a non-educated Islamic, she doesn't know Islam. And then you've got the ninja-looking one there that does it because she just feels it should be done. Watch now again. Let's say that none of us understand what Sharia is. Do any of us know exactly what Sharia is? We know it's the law, but what does it entail? And is it, compatible with our belief systems? Now we're going to see how, this is going to be interesting. So on the screen, it says strongly agree, far left, strongly disagree, somewhat agree, and somewhat disagree. Now, I need you guys to understand that the question is, would the Sharia be something that these people want? Now, Sharia is the Islamic law, the law of Allah. Now, you've got 2 people saying they strongly disagree with it, meaning they don't want the law of Allah. They don't want it. Built for Speed says, let's see if the definition has changed from 20 years ago. Let's see. Well, let's just watch.
Assalamu alaikum. I need Sharia implementation 100%. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِيَ لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ لَا شَرِيكَ لَهُ وَبِذَلِكَ أُمِرْتُ وَأَنَا أَوَّلُ الْمُسْلِمِينَ. Sharia is part of our religion. Islamic Sharia is only for the Muslim. If you are not Muslim, it doesn't concern you.
Okay, now this is where it gets exciting, ladies and gentlemen. He is saying, as a Muslim imam, that the Sharia is only for the Muslims. He said it's only for the Muslims. It does not include Christians, Jews, atheists, none of that. It is only for the Muslims.
You see the non-Muslim are the one shouting here and there, no, we don't want Sharia. But me, I am in support.
I just strongly disagree. The problem didn't specify if it's for everybody or just for Muslims. If it's only for Muslims, specifically for Muslims, then no problem. But if it's for everybody, for Nigeria, we have different people
It's
in
only
Nigeria.
for the Muslim.
I feel like there's going to be some kind of imposition. Like people living in the northern states now, they might be forced to, follow the Sharia laws. Like in France, for example, now, women are not allowed to use head coverings in workplaces, schools, or any other institutions like that because they have to follow the law. That is French law. So if there's Sharia law in Maiduguri now, they might have to follow it, irrespective of whether or not they are Christians. Because like I said, you have to adapt to wherever you are going.
The image of implementation of the Sharia, even some Muslims don't understand. It's only restricted for the Muslims. If you want to marry, this is how the Sharia said you should marry. If you want to divorce, this is the way Sharia asks you to divorce. If you want to share property, this is the way the Sharia said the property should be shared. It is only based on Muslim. Non-Muslim, it doesn't concern him.
Okay, now, if you're listening to this, then you would agree 100%, listening to him, that you are safe. This is not talking about you. This is only pointing to Muslims. So you can build churches. You can ring the church bell. You can walk around with your Bible. You can stand in the middle of Muhammad Square and do dawah. You can, with your loudspeaker and tell people about Christ. Because you are not affected by the Sharia according to him. Taqiyya, this is lying. He's lying to Muslims. This is talking about how he is trying his best to make Islam feel so welcoming and so perfect, and you can have it wherever you want. It's not going to bother you. But when it is implemented, then they're going to say to you, hang on a second, now that it's in your country, you have to abide by it, or else we'll give you 3 options. Become a Muslim, pay the jizya, or be unalived. That is part of the Sharia. This is the part of the Sharia that the Muslims don't want you to know about.
The drinking of alcohol is only for Muslim. If we see Muslim drinking beer, are you a Muslim? Yeah, we'll flog you.
Notice what he said again. The first guy spoke about lashing someone to teach them instead of teaching them. This guy says, you see you drinking beer, we'll flog you. Sheikh Asim said that if it's 2%, 3% alcohol, it's okay. You can drink your alcohol. It's fine. We've got alcohol. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how much as long as you don't get intoxicated. Notice the hypocrites in this cult. The hypocrites, the lying in this religion, my word.
That is it. That's why I want to correct before anybody comments. You have to understand what is Sharia and on who.
If this was how the lawmakers were explaining to everybody would understand that. Okay, do your own, I'll do my own.
Yeah.
But they're not explaining it in that way. And the way some people take it, and you mentioned something about like it's the non-Muslims that are mostly vocal about it because it will affect them. They believe it's going to affect them. That's why they speak out about it.
I wish I'm not smiling, but I'll just smile my way out because I strongly disagree first. Secondly, okay, I'm sorry to say it, but it's like animals are now being more human than we humans.
Animals are being more human than us humans. No, again, this guy, the girl next to him, because they've got Christian influence, they can see how evil and sick all this Sharia nonsense is. Now, animals are better than humans, according to this dude. And notice how the Imam lied. And now the woman, being ignorant about the fact of Sharia, she's also questioning. She's saying, well, I didn't know that. And if it's talking only to them, why are the leaders not making it clear? The other one, the one that knows the least of all of them, she eventually comes out. She's happy. She's like, I didn't know that this was only talking about the Muslims. Oh, it makes sense. Come on, man.
We create so many restrictions and yet it's not getting us anywhere. That's the painful thing. Sharia give us many don't. I don't want to say anything about Sharia because I'm but the truth is, sir, honestly, I strongly disagree. Legalizing Sharia, making it even on Muslims. If Muslims should sit down, like if there are 1 million Muslims, I would say 800 Muslims will say they don't want Sharia because there should be liberty to do what is right. For example,
notice what he said. They should be free to do what is right. Meaning, if you do something that's right, you're doing something outside of the Sharia. You've got to listen carefully to what these guys are not saying. He's saying, oh, they must be free to do what is right, to do something right. So if they're following the Sharia, then they're not doing something right. Now, this is why Africa is in such a pickle, because of this Islamic nonsense that they're trying to implement, for example, in Nigeria. How many people in Nigeria have been unalived in the last 2 years in the name of Islam? In the last 365 days, in the last year, how many people in Nigeria have been unalived because of Islam? Not the media propaganda, not what the West is doing, not what is happening in Palestine or Israel, not what's happening in Russia or Ukraine. No, this is Islam in Nigeria. And this is why the African countries are suffering so badly, because they're going backwards in life. They're going 1400 years backwards, trying to be like Muslims, trying to be like Muhammad.
Nigeria, we practice democracy. There's a freedom to speak, freedom to act.
Oh, just by the way, democracy goes against Islam. So he says we have the freedom to have democracy, but democracy goes against the Sharia.
Oh, are we even free? Now on social media, you can't post some things. They'll call you, they'll arrest you. So I'm like, who are we fooling? The way I grew up, my dad is an Alhaji, my mom a Muslim, all of them Muslim. I was taught on the good of Islam. I wasn't taught on the bad of Islam. I read something that I felt like, this thing doesn't look okay, but I just flip and read.
Notice again, I'm sorry to keep jumping in. He said I was taught the good of Islam, not the bad of Islam. He said when you go to the bad, you just flip. You just turn the page. You go to the next one. You just flip it. Go to the next one. Flip the page, people. Oh, unalive them up. Never mind. Go to the next page. Sleep with children. Oh, let's go to the next one. Oh, strike your wife. Oh, let's go to the next one. Go to your neighbors and fight them. Oh, let's go to the next one. Sit in wait and, in ambush and then unalive them wherever you find them. Oh, let's go to the next one. So this guy is doing the flip. I mean, he must be a gymnast. I mean, this guy's an Olympic gymnast to me now, if he's been flipping pages all these years.
What I feel makes sense. Now we try to legalize it. We want to start war in Nigeria here now. I don't want to go into too much detail. This is a very sensitive topic, let's be honest. I don't want people to start tagging me out.
Who's afraid?
My name is Abdurrahman Olabiaregbe. I'm a creative director. I will be honest, I'm trying to be careful. I don't want to go off grid. You know how it is nowadays, like before you say something, they'll filter everything else, they'll put that out, and so I'm trying to be careful what I say. And I'm also trying to be conscious of the people around me. Now there's an imam, so I have to respect the imam.
I chose strongly agree. I'm actually surprised that I see some people even choosing different variations of disagree. For them to choose disagree, then they don't really know what Sharia is.
Now listen now. This guy hopefully is going to teach us what the Sharia is. Maybe he'll give us a few examples. Maybe he'll show us how beautiful Islam is through the Sharia. And then maybe we can go to our leaders in our towns and please give us the Sharia. Please, we want to have Sharia because it sounds so good. It sounds so lovely. Come on, man, give us the Sharia.
In simple words, the Sharia is the ruling of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that a Muslim should live by. Everything we do, how we walk, how we do everything, just as our Imam said, how we get married, how we do business and everything, the Sharia encompasses everything. He said something about when you read something, you take the good. That expression, are you insinuating that there are elements of bad within Islam?
So he hasn't told us about the wonderful Sharia, but he picked up like we picked up. He's asking, well, hang on, are you saying that there's some parts of Islam that's not good? Now we on the nice now. Remember what he said in the interview when he said by himself, he said, you got to be careful what you say, because if you say something, then the social media will attack you and the people will attack you and, you lose your this, that, and the other. But he's going to answer.
That's tempting. You don't want me to answer that, please. Don't.
See, that's tempting. You don't want me to answer that. Meaning his answer is going to go against Islam. If you answer honestly, you will go against Islam.
No, answer is
the truth is life itself, there's good and bad in life. So let's be honest, nothing is perfect.
Nothing is perfect. He's talking about Islam as well, which they catch on as well. Nothing is perfect.
Nothing is perfect about Islam or about the Muslim.
My God.
Sorry, I feel like you should.
Nothing is perfect about Islam or the Muslim. Oh my goodness. Come on, man. But everything's perfect about Jesus, people.
Put him on the spot. If he doesn't want to answer,
I don't want to sit down on TV. Well, I didn't say it's not perfect, but imagine something not perfect on TV. The truth is, it's perfect, but the fanaticism behind it is what is not making it look perfect.
He always makes mention of when he's reading something and he does not understand, just flip over, let me just take the good and all. It's something very common on the social media. I'm with everybody, I take the good and I leave the bad and all. It's a very deceitful statement. Because who is the judge of what is good and what is bad? The Quran is the only book of the Muslim. It's perfect because it's from God Almighty.
I'll be honest with you. Okay, I will answer and I will defend the answer as a Muslim that Islam is perfect. And the reason why I say that is because when I look at the way of life Islam is telling us, but now the teaching, I don't know how the bastardizers are now, they're now giving it out fake. Islam taught us how to dress modestly. It taught us how to behave. What does love your neighbor as yourself? They're always shouting. We leave it without being taught. Everything the Bible was saying that they would rather be preaching than acting. Islam is acting it. Fanaticism.
Notice how he speaks well of the Bible. Notice how this guy is speaking well. Remember, his wife is a Christian. And his wife being a Christian is telling us why he's a better person than all the others or the Muslim men.
Sneaking one way or the other. I don't know where they follow, maybe backyard or something. An example of that fanaticism for me personally was when our Alpha back then said that when you are praying, our nose should touch the ground. So when we are praying, we'll not be using nose to make sure that it's touching the ground. The prophet knows always touch the ground. So when I grew up, I realized that this thing is not something that has to be like a deen that a Muslim must be doing. It's like you're reading a book and the book is telling you everything good and say, cut the head of your neighbor and say, oh, hey, and you want to go and do it. No, you shouldn't go and do that one now.
See, he just mentioned again, okay, putting your nose on the floor. But look what he said now. The Quran tells you should go and unalived, cut off the heads of people. He's like, yeah, now we should do it. He says, no, I shouldn't do that. We shouldn't do that now, he said. Why should we do something? Why should we obey the Quran is basically what he's saying. And this is what happens. First steps of before you leave Islam is using the gray matter in your brain. Using your brain. Using that muscle that you have in your brain. And you thinking outside of Islam. The first steps of before you leave Islam. Because he's listening to an extremist imam, a semi-extremist dude next to imam or on the opposite side. But this is what happened. This is how you leave Islam. By listening to Muslims.
This is what the Christians use against Islam. They said courts, infidels, do all those words and everything.
Is it there?
Probably, I don't even know. Maybe you defend that later.
Okay, so as a Muslim, if he was outside and someone said that to him, they could be like, no, it's not in our Quran. When we don't learn the religion, we tend to...
Listen to this lying muppet. He said it's not in the Quran. Surah 9:5 says what? Unalive them wherever you find them. Smite their necks. Notice again the lying. He's lying to us. The dude is literally lying to us. Like we don't have interweb.
Collect whatever people say without knowing what is right and what is wrong.
Islam is learning and applying what you learn. So this is many cases we are having among the Muslim of today. At the beginning, they didn't go to Islamic school and learn very well. Some are too weak concerning religion, knowledge, and the practicing.
To continue what I was saying, Almighty Allah said in the Quran, Alayhi sallahu bi ahkamil hakimin, that he is the most wise hakimin. Hakimin is someone that legislates.
Judge.
The legislation of Allah is perfect. The issue we have is most of us haven't really studied the Quran or the Sharia in itself. We beg most of our imams, they should do more of teaching people than digressing to other things. The Sharia is marvelous. It's the implementation that, okay, the people we are putting in charge, are they going to implement it well and all? So that's human problem. But does the Sharia have a problem? Or no, Sharia does not have.
So I think that is why I somewhat agree with the implementation of Sharia, because Sharia is good, but are we, the Muslims, are we going to really implement the Sharia within ourselves? So, and because some of us are still struggling to practice the religion fully, if Sharia is imposed on us, then everything will become too difficult, I believe.
So if Sharia is imposed on them, everything becomes too difficult. For example, guys, if, for example, you steal in Islam and the Sharia says, the law says that you need to chop off your hand. Is it your right hand or your left hand? if you steal with your left hand and they cut your left hand, then you've got to wipe your backside with your right hand in odd numbers, and then shake hands with people with your right hand and eat with your right hand. If they cut your left hand, your right hand, then you've got to now wipe your backside with your left hand, eat with your left hand, and shake hands with people that you just met with your left hand. So how does that make sense? How then, without arms, are you going to produce or be productive in society? But this again is the Sharia, being whooped in the middle of the streets to instill fear, not knowledge and understanding, and not to teach, you instilling fear. That's to me, Islam is all about putting fear in their hearts just to stop them.
The reason I actually chose to disagree was because I thought it's going to be implemented on the whole populace.
Now, this again is interesting. Notice that she said, what? Oh, I disagreed because I thought everybody was affected by Sharia. But now that Imam next to me explained to me that it's only for Muslims, oh, then it's not a problem. That makes sense. Sure it does.
Well, now that he has explained that it only applies to Muslims, I'm going to agree. I don't know anything about Sharia law, okay? Aside what media portrays. Well, after Imam explained, okay, I got like very good insight on what it is.
How many father dies and you see the properties are shared according to the Islamic Sharia? And Islam favor man in the inheritance. That man should take 2, the woman should take 1. Man is always the spender, as the breadwinner of the family. Then we have divorce. It's like Oku. Because we do 1, that one she can come back. You can do 2, that one she can come back. When you do number 3, it's final.
Now notice this, guys. He's talking about divorce. And for those that don't know, in Islam, he's talking about divorcing your wife. He said, you divorce your wife first time, she comes back, not a problem. Divorce your wife the second time, she comes back, not a problem. But, the big but, if you divorce your wife the third time, you can't take her back. Now in Islam, you just say, talak, 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 I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you, and it's done, it's over, it's finitoed. But after the third time, the woman cannot, by law, come back to the husband. What must she do? She needs to get remarried, get penetrated, taste the juice of that man. After that, she has to now divorce that man and then come back to her husband, soiled, used and abused, so that the husband can take her back. Imagine this now, people. This is the part of the Sharia. That the woman, instead of just being a woman and having self-respect, the woman in Islam now have to go do dingy with another man and then come back. Now imagine the man, the husband number 1, is sitting down after the 2 divorces. He divorces her the third time. He now has to sit down like a cuckold, send her off to some other man, watch her get married to another man, and then do the dingy, and then come back to him. And then he's good. So he's supposed to be okay with that. He's not going to lie down and ask questions and think to himself, was he bigger than me? Was he better than me? What did he do that was different? Did he make you get the big O? You did. Oh, it was the best O you ever had. Oh my goodness. Now, how in the world is this husband going to love this woman knowing that she has just had the biggest O of her life, or she, had whatever, it doesn't matter. You're taking back a soiled woman, a woman that's now been soiled because the God of Islam is forcing her to open her legs for another man. MashaAllah, what a religion. And he doesn't say that because, like most people, he's just a liar and a coward.
It's like Oku. Because we do 1, that one she can come back. You can do 2, that one she can come back. When you do number 3, it's final until she marries someone. But here you will see that when you are with this woman, you see some trouble, you just leave her. No divorce. Here they don't divorce. Yes, you will go to Ikorodu, take another woman there, whether married or not married. The Sharia court will 13. In Islam, dowry must be 150,000, then upward. That is the minimum. You see, when there is no Sharia, the woman is collecting less. So with the Sharia, all this one will be implemented properly.
If you're saying that you want to legalize Sharia, how is it benefiting everybody's life? Why can't they legalize paying like 50K to everybody's account every month? I'm like, you got to legalize something that will change and impact people's life. Or legalize free education. Like, if you have 4 children, we'll pay for 2 school fees. Sensible things. We want to legalize something like this, and you want me to... I'm not going to agree to that. I keep saying Allah said, Allah said. Allah said we should use our brain too.
He keeps saying Allah said, Allah said. This dude is like, man, Allah says a lot. Allah keeps saying things. Allah said, Allah said. It's like, come on, man. When are we going to be using our gray matter? Allah said we should use our brain too. So must I use my brain, or must I listen to Allah? Which is more beneficial for us? Me using my brain or me listening to Allah?
The matter say that they're doing it. It's not doing anything sensible there. All the amputees, they bring them to Lagos and turn them to beggar. So somebody's stealing and we cut the hand, but they are stealing billions in those states, and you're not cutting their head off. And I'm like, no, instead of doing all this rubbish that we're talking about, they should just sensitize people about Sharia. Let us even know the benefit of it, how good it can be. Let us get sunk into that and drunk into that. Oh, yes, Sarah makes sense. After that, we cannot be talking about if you want to legalize this. But it doesn't still make any sense because it goes against democracy.
So he is a Democrat. He definitely believes that democracy trumps Sharia, that democracy trumps everything else, right? He's saying, this goes against democracy. Now, notice again, we've got 6 Muslims, 6 different opinions, and each of them is still, even though the Imam is agreeing with Islam, he's lying about agreeing with Islam. The other Muslims on the panel are listening to Islam and denying what Islam actually says. Deron Dorsey, I see you in the chat. Dude, this account of mine is banned on your channel, brother. This account, when you had Sid, the dog, on your channel, Sid banned me on this account. I can't get into your account on this one. I sent you a message on Telegram. Don't know if you got that yet. You never go into Telegram. I'm going to be careful, man. No, but seriously, if you can unblock me on your TT account, please, Deron. This account of mine is gone. My other one has just got banned, so I can't use that one, and I can't join your account on this your live stream on this one. So if you can fix that for me, please, my man. For those that are not following Deron Dorsey, give him a follow, please, guys. Give Deron Dorsey a follow.
I agree with most of the things the Imam said, but there's some few things I don't agree. But I just want to pick one of it. If the Sharia is only to Muslims, let's look at the Arab countries, for example. There are non-Muslims there. Are they?
Now, remember what we said earlier, right? We're talking now about non-Muslims and whether the Sharia is for all people or just the Muslims. Now, this guy is disagreeing with the Sheikh, with the Imam. And again, sometimes every now and then there's some common sense and some knowledge coming out of his mouth.
They're under any other rule except for the Sharia? No. The statement or the notion that the Sharia is just for the Muslim, I don't support that, and I don't believe that it is. But within the Sharia, are there some rules that only applies to Muslims? Yes. Hypothetically, Nigeria is implementing the Sharia law. Hypothetically, you as a non-Muslim, you still have your rights within the Sharia law. The Sharia law does not say you should not do your religion, because the greatest thing in Islam is worship. If within the Sharia law, they still accept that, okay, you can still do your own religion, that's to show you that every other thing, there's no compulsion in it.
He mentioned that it should be for everybody. And the Imam mentioned that it should be specifically for Muslims. That is where the confusion stems from. Because most of the Muslims that I've seen saying they want the Sharia law, they don't want it for just Muslims. They want it for everybody. And pardon the Christians or non-Muslims for thinking they want to Islamize Nigeria. I don't get it. Like, why do you want to impose this on other people? Okay, fine. If it's that good, the way you are preaching it, then you don't need to impose it on people for them to be enticed to want to practice it.
A Muslim always agree that he's a Muslim, whatever he does. Saying that I am not a Muslim in order to escape a penalty against you, it's another offense. Sharia courts and the Sharia laws and those who are in force of those things, they are not mobs. They are intelligent people that government put in place to do it, and they undergo so many training.
I think for peace sake, what I feel Sharia needs to do is sensitize people, everybody, Muslim, Christian, everybody, on, because there are a lot of negative media on Sharia. I know better, but every person that doesn't know better will see a lot of news. They can even fetch it and say, somebody stealing yam, the courtesan, all those, there are a lot of them. Somebody slept with a lady, or somebody raped a lady and she killed the person, and now the lady is going to court for killing a rapist. So they need to sensitize themselves on, they need to let people know the benefits. Those things are rumors. I know, honestly.
But it's so many media pushes, which is the media portraying Muslims.
That's the media. So they need to but we as Muslims, we shouldn't accept what we are in a situation to change the perspective also.
I need to know.
A woman can still be a good Muslim without wearing the hijab.
Okay, so we just to remind us, we're looking now at a woman can still be a good Muslim without wearing a hijab. Now we got one of the women there that's not covered, and just a hair is covered, but that's fine. This should be interesting. I mean, when it comes to Sharia, notice that there's no acceptance by all of them, or agreement by all of them that the Sharia is, something that's good for them, that works for them, and that all people should be under the Sharia. As she said, if it's such a great religion, if it's such a great thing, the Sharia, then people will be enticed by it. People will be, it'll be appealing to people. And for example, say I live in London, in the UK, and in the UK, I noticed that, this Sharia thing is such a brilliant system. It's worked in every Muslim country. Then I would say, wow, let's implement it. Let's have the Sharia in the country that we're in now. But there's not a single country in the world today or since Muhammad that has actually worked with Sharia. Not a single country in the world that has thrived under the Sharia. If you go to, for example, the Taliban or Afghanistan today, and they're trying their best to use the Sharia as their way of guidance and light. Now, I'm just using them as an example because they are trying their best. Look at how little positive comes out the country, how little intelligence there is in the country. And these people are saying, oh, let's get the Sharia to work. Show me a place where it's working, people are thriving, and we'll go from there. Then we can say, you know what, it's working there. Let's implement it. Let's bring it to our countries and let us make sure that we can live by it because it's working. Oh, sorry, I missed that.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa.
I want to just see what did they choose?
A woman can still be a good Muslim without wearing the hijab.
Okay, we've got disagree, strongly agree, agree, somewhat agree, strongly disagree, somewhat disagree. Now, this is interesting. Remember, it's talking about now the hijab, the covering that the women have. So it's saying that these women can be productive, can be good people if they don't wear it. And we've got strongly disagree.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Putting on hijab is a commandment from Allah. Women in Islam, they are pampered. Anything that is so...
I'm sorry. The women in Islam are pampered. The women in Islam are pampered. If you guys go around teaching anything other than that, you are liars. This Imam says that the women in Islam are pampered. Now, how do you get pampered? With the right hand or left hand? How are you pampered, mister? How did a woman get pampered, sir? Right hand or left hand? A backhand or forehand?
Precious. You cover it. Our money, we cover it, put it inside our pocket. The women you see, Allah created them very special, very beautiful. They look like us, but they are more beautiful than us. And they need protection. So that protection, number one, goes from covering the body.
Okay, so now the reason for them being protected is they need protection. His money needs protection. His backside hole needs protection. It needs protection. But he didn't say protection from whom? Who is it that they need protection from, Osa?
They can expose their body, but with the restriction. God mentioned it. Their husband, their fathers, fathers-in-laws, brothers, elderly and younger ones, their sons, and the sons of their sisters, sons of their brothers, because all these are sons to them. So there is restriction that she can expose her beauty. But other public, no. My name is Abdullahi Muhammad Tahir. I am a 53-year-old Imam from Al-Wujaj, Central Mosque, Lekki, Lagos here. I've been in Imam 8 years before, then 11 years at Al-Wujaj. In nature, the man's stature is different from the woman. When we go to Hajj, we tie only wrapper here. But woman cannot tie only wrapper. You too, you will look at her somehow. Allah give a commandment that they should always dress and covered themselves. Most if they are in the public. God creates them so special and they are always attractive. And whatever it is attractive, a lot of people will follow it.
I could have chosen strongly disagree, but I just decided to choose disagree. Being that the concept of hijab, it's a directive from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran. Being a Muslim is about submitting to the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So either you like it or not. You not doing a command necessarily means your degree of submissiveness is not complete.
I feel like Muslims nowadays feel like if you're a Muslim, you should agree with everything 100%. Do it without asking questions. I'm not that kind of person. I'm very inquisitive. I feel like the two conservatives feel like, okay, this is how God said it. Follow it. Don't ask questions.
Again, the girl of intelligence, the smart one has spoken again. She's saying, you know, you're not, it's like you don't ask questions. She says, you know, I don't agree with these people, man. She says, this is blind faith. Blind faith. This is why I like this girl, man.
Any inner, what's it called, that you have, it's because maybe you're not following it the way you should follow it.
I choose agree. For instance, I'm a lady and I'm a Muslim. For example, I'm endowed. For me, I can now think into it like, oh, I'm endowed, I'm a Muslim. I don't want people to see me as an object. If I'm a lady, for example, I would love to cover up. If I'm not covering up, I would love to dress modestly. The reason why I agree with women can decide not to cover is that there are a lot of ladies that they cover up, but they don't know why they are covering up. They cover up and they act otherwise. Every lady I'm standing here with, I can feel an aura around them that I know they know what they're doing. But out there nowadays, we have a lot of new generation of children that don't know what it is. They cover up and they wear jeans and everything is, they're not being nurtured about why you should dress this way and why it is good. On the other way, some ladies that dress covered up have indirectly turned themselves to fanatics. So it's the personal experience. While I was trying to pick a partner, I've met a lot of Muslim ladies. They'll be like, oh, do you know this surah in the Quran? I'm like, these are the few surahs I know. And I know how to use them, but I don't know this. And because of that, they feel like, no, you're not Muslim, no, I can't marry you. I was really pained. Honestly, I lost a lot of, I would say good men, but I will now know now that they're not really that good for me. The truth is, I ended up marrying a Christian. I never saw it coming. Life has been perfect and awesome.
I just want to stop there. He married a Christian and life has been perfect. He married a Christian and life became perfect. But when he looked at those women, he noticed that they were not good for him. The Muslim women were not good for him, but he married a woman and life has been perfect. Man, that's because of our Christ. That's right. Jesus Akbar.
It's like my opinion, my belief and everything. And she's liberal. I'm sorry, I'm taking this personal.
I still shaky. When I met all these lovely Muslim ladies I really, really love, a lot of them put me in friend zone. We became friends. Like, what am I doing friendship for? And I was lucky. I met a lady that was a Christian. And I met her and everything has been going well for me. I've been the problem because I didn't wake up in time. If I wake up in time, I would have looked at the other way. Maybe I would have found her earlier. I went to Central Mosque for all this Muslim relationship stuff. I know what I had.
In Islam, marrying from other Christian or Jew is permitted. It is.
Now notice this, he's saying it's permitted to marry a Christian or a Jew, but only a man can marry a Christian and a Jew. A woman in Islam is not allowed to marry a Christian or a Jew. Notice again how these people twist and turn things.
It's choice. If you want a Muslim wife, you will see her. If you want a beautiful wife, you don't care about the religion, then you also see.
It's that time people start asking questions and trying to relate. My dad taught me something and I think I applied it to today. Like I said, the body of a lady is a temple. Even if she covered everything up from head to toe and just her hand is alone is showing, that is enough to tempt a man. And honestly, I would say it's true.
Now, I need to stop there. Notice what he said. Now he becomes a Muslim again. He says, even if you see the hand of a woman, you can be tempted. What the hell type of people are these, man? I've never looked at a woman's hand and go, ooh, you know, I'm getting excited now because I saw her hand. Ooh, I saw her ankles. Ooh. What the heck kind of people is this? Why would Muslims have so little self-control? Is it like in the DNA? Is it when Satan sticks his fingers up there, he adds a bit of, you know, stupidity in these people? How is it possible that these people have zero self-control? Tempted by a hand, tempted by a hair, tempted by her elbow. What is wrong with these people?
I strongly agree because when you were talking then, you said ladies were commanded to dress modestly for protection. Protection from who? From men? Because from what? Because when people talk about protection, they are mostly referring to men. If we had moral men that are upright, then there's no reason why women should be fully covered before you can control yourself.
Boom shakalaka. What did she say? If you had men that could control themselves, then there would be no need for this. But Muslim men have zero self-control.
And alone is showing that is enough to tempt a man. And honestly, I would say it's true.
I just strongly agree because when you were talking then, you said ladies were commanded to dress modestly for protection. Protection from who? From men? Because from what? Because when people talk about protection, they are mostly referring to men. If we had moral men that are upright, then there's no reason why women should be fully covered before you can control yourself and control your urges. There is a case of Nikobi sometime last year that she was raped. She was fully covered. Some people just don't have morals. It's not a matter of protection nowadays. It's a means. Astaghfirullah, sorry. I find it like sometimes it's a means of oppression. Part of my personal challenges is trying to reconcile Islam with things that are going on now. There was this case of a sheikh that he was referring women to shawarma. He said when the shawarma is open, it's enticing. You want to eat it. But when it's covered, it's not enticing. Why are women being objectified to that extent? There are so many haram police nowadays that you can't even breathe. Being a woman is so hard because you can't breathe. And I keep on wondering, is this the kind of life I want to live?
She's a Muslim. So far, she agrees that she's a Muslim. Sin cannot remove a Muslim from Islam until you declare that you are no more a Muslim.
So this guy is basically saying, yeah, she's a Muslim, and even though she's against Islam, I can't say she's not a Muslim, but she don't sound like a Muslim because she's going against Islam. So he's literally saying she needs to just say, I turned my back on Islam and I left it, and then she'll be out. Right now, she's sinning, but that doesn't take her out of Islam because she's asked the question, who are the women being protected from? Who are the ones that are attacking these women because they have no self-control? Zero self-control. If we find, I had a friend when I was growing up, we were in school, and he did something once that I found to be way, and I called him out on it. I said, dude, if you can't have self-control, because he had a few drinks, I said, if you can't have self-control when you drink, then you need to stop drinking. Because it's in you, you're just triggering it with the alcohol. And, but my whole point is that at some point you need to call people out and say, enough is enough. You can't allow people to continue making excuses for it. This guy is saying, yeah, she's not full Muslim. That's right. She's not a full Muslim. She's just like a semi-Muslim.
So didn't her putting hijab? It's a sin because Allah says she should put her hijab.
I was greeting a hijabi. I don't know what they are called, those people that wear hijabs. And she didn't answer. I said salam alaikum to her because I wanted to approach her because she was so pretty, and I approached her. And she didn't answer. She said, is this how I'm supposed to be covered? It was not funny that day. I wanted to drag her, then I mistakenly dragged her hijab. Then it turned to this. I have to run away from there so they won't beat me because... But honestly, you can be a covered Muslim and have no morals because should someone approach you and say assalamu alaikum to you and you won't answer on the basis that you're not fully covered, it might be that I'm a revert. It might be that I'm struggling with my religion. It might be that I'm struggling with tying scarf. You don't know what warranted that situation, but yet you still say, okay, because I'm not fully covered. I might not even be a Muslim for all you know. What if I was trying to embrace Islam in that part, but because of how you did, you pushed me away totally. I picked.
Just before she goes on, I'm sorry again, but notice she's asking the relevant question. What if I wasn't a Muslim? I want to embrace Islam. I come to you and I give you the greeting of peace. As a person, if someone comes up to me and says, Salam al-Masih, someone says, God bless you, or they want to talk to me and they approach me with peace and they approach me with love, then I, as a Christian, am supposed to treat them with love either way. Even if they're attacking me, I'm supposed to treat them with love. But over here, she greets a Muslim greeting a Muslim. Like yesterday, when I had Mr. Bay on my channel, and a Muslim was on the channel, Mr. Bay greeted a Muslim, didn't greet me with Assalamu alaikum, greeted another Muslim. And that Muslim said he refused to answer him because he thought he was a Christian. This is what this whole religion is like. It's a sick, evil religion. And these people are just absolutely, because they're taught to hate. This is the thing, guys. It's all about hate.
Agreed. Don't judge what I wanted to say according to what I'm wearing. Because some people will be like, and she's a niqabi and she's saying this. So I've met quite a lot of people and I realized that dressing and being a Muslim, they are two different things. I've met people, someone that wear a cap, just the way you dress like this. And that lady, I tell you myself that I covered up. Sometimes when they are calling Adhan for Salah, probably we're doing something, be like, let me finish up with what I'm doing. This lady, immediately they call Adhan, immediately she would stand up, no matter what she's doing. She will always have long hijab inside her bag. She will make sure she prays everywhere at the exact time. So I don't think a Muslim lady should be judged according to how they dress.
As a niqabi, you should project more. I'm not saying everybody that doesn't wear the hijab is not a good Muslim, but you should not see it as being okay. If you don't see it as bad, you will not tend to want to improve.
There are 5 pillars of Islam, and the first one is the Shahada. You have to believe Allah. And putting on the hijab is a commandment from Allah. As a Muslim, you shouldn't say no to the one you believe in. But humans should not judge, Muslims should not judge their fellow Muslims based on that. So that's why I'm somewhat disagreeing. So if I believe in you, I love you, I believe you're my creator, then I shouldn't be able to question your commandments. So it's a straight commandment from the maker. There are various commandments. That might be the one you have a challenge with, and you might be abiding by others. So I'm not going to judge that you don't have a better character, you're not a good Muslim.
When we say protection, I'm not talking about security. Some people rape women with the hijab, with other things. It's a security alert. Mm-hmm. It's not a protection. You cook your food, you have to protect your food.
Listen to this guy, man. He's talking about being a security alert. He's talking about food. She said, oh, these people said if you see a shawarma and the shawarma is open and you can see the inside of the shawarma, you'll be tempted by the shawarma. I'm not sure what he's going to, maybe it's like American pie. He wants to put it in the shawarma. But if it's wrapped up, it's better for you. I had Muslims tell us, oh, if you had a candy and the candy falls on the floor, but it has its paper on it, then the candy is protected by the paper. But if the paper is taken off and the candy falls on the floor, it gets messed. But the same religion teaches that maybe the blessing is in the candy that fell on the floor. So you need to pick it up, wipe it, and then eat it. So you see how these people are absolutely brain dead?
From food poison and all that thing. Abi? That's why I use the money. You understand? Anytime you put it inside your pocket as a protection. Number 2, I didn't say if you don't wear hijab, you are bad. No. In all the world, there are good and bad. Wearing hijab for we Muslim, because this is conversation of Muslim. A Muslim lady that dress, we see her as a good Muslim. Other habits can come upon. Yes, we know. How many people dress Muslim and they are not Muslim? And they'll go and commit crime. We are just talking about wearing hijab is commandment of Allah. So whether we like it or not, as my brother says, submission.
Everybody has different journeys with their religion and with their inner peace. And I'm still currently on that journey. I have found peace, but I just want to be at the point where nothing can shake my faith. So he's saying that because you're a Muslim, you have to be fully covered. I don't believe that, because when I was younger, I think my parents were like, why do you want to wear hijabs? We're not that kind of Muslims. I feel like my parents are very liberal. I was brought up a certain way, and he's saying that it's not going to change it.
Regarding protection.
I just wanted to stop it there, guys, just for everyone to notice. Do you think that the girl that just spoke on the left-hand side with the black skirt, and I'm not sure if that's a pink top, do you guys think that she is tempting any of you, or is she dressed modestly? I'm a serious question. Do you guys think that she's modest in her appearance, or do you think she looks like she should be standing on a street corner? Now, I'm not talking about the two on the right or the one in the middle with the green thing there and the face cover and stuff. I'm not talking about them. If I saw this woman walking on the street, to me, she is modest. She is looking after herself. There's nothing tempting about her, even though I can see her hands, her neck, and her face. Nothing of that is going to make me think that I just popped 2 Viagras. None of that is going to make me walk around like I'm trying to pitch a tent in my pants. None of this is going to get me excited and cause me to drippity drip and leave a trail behind me. None of that. Because the way she looks right now is acceptable and, respectable. If she had, for example, I'm just using this as an example, a mini skirt where you could see her cheeks, or she had a tank top on where you could see the under boob, whatever, then we'd say she's, she's not dressed for, she's not being modest about herself. She's not looking after herself. But this to me is perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. Imam says, no, it's not enough because you need to cover even more or else he will get excited. Now, is it her fault that she's dressed like that? Or is it the man's fault that he's tempted by her dressed like that? This again is the finger pointing, how the Muslims want to point the finger to the females and blame them for their lack of self-control.
That it was mentioned, I think he could not really do explaining. So I think they are evil eyes, they are genes. So if you wear hijab, let's say for instance, I'm not judging you or saying anything, I'm just saying like on an open ground, our hair, women hair attracts genes. Even there's
human hair attracts jinns? What do they lay their eggs in your jinns? What do they think it's a bloody nest? What? So are you saying that the jinn, this is why you got to cover your hair because the jinns are attracted to only female hair? My Lord. My Lord.
A certain period that your hair shouldn't be exposed to the sky. And during those periods, you are not at home. The malaika will be like, different curses on you and so on. And also in the process, you might just kiss probably a jinn. I have a friend that she was divorced twice because even before getting the first marriage, it was a struggle because the jinn insists on like he's the husband, so he doesn't want to leave her.
What? She kissed the jinn and the jinn was like her husband and didn't want to leave her? What? Do you guys see what you've got to do with the normal brain to be a Muslim? Say that one more time. I apologize, guys. I need a refresh on that. So the jinn gave her a kiss. Was it like a tongue kiss? Or what kind of kiss was it? Did she just stand there in the midst of people with her tongue out thinking she's snogging something?
Women hair attracts genes. Even there's a certain period that your hair shouldn't be exposed to the sky. And
so your hair shouldn't be exposed to the sky at certain periods. What in the world, people? 2026. There are certain periods when your hair shouldn't face the sky. And during those what?
During those periods, you are not at home. The malaika will...
The malaika, isn't it the angels?
Be like, different curses on you and so...
So the malaika will put curses on you. So the angels are now going to curse you for having your hair exposed to the bloody sky towards the God that created the hair on your head. Oh, my Lord.
And also in the process, you might just kiss.
You might probably just kiss a jinn. Did she say hit or kiss? Hit or kiss?
But you are not at home. The malaika will be like, different curses on you and so on. And also in the process, you might just kiss probably a jinn. I have a friend that she was divorced twice because even before getting the first marriage, it was a struggle because the jinn insists on like he's the husband, so he doesn't want to leave her.
So the jinn is the husband and didn't want to leave her. So this is why they cover up, because of the jinn?
Just want to buttress on the point you made that the sister she met who didn't respond to her just the way she's dressed. I've experienced such before, and I believe it isn't supposed to be so. The Prophet wants souls based on his character majorly, his akhlaq. And I feel Muslims should have the best characters. That's the only way we can get people, or that's the way we can even help our sisters struggling to thrive better.
There are so many sisters that does that. I schooled in Kwara too. They gave me a lot of issues. And when I got there, they started discriminating, like saying different things. Aisha, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And I'm like, I don't understand. The Prophet didn't say you must wear gloves. And he said you can leave your face and your hands. And I choose to cover my face and leave my hands. So it's my choice. And even some of my friends would be like, they are saying salamu alaikum to them. they are not answering. It's even at the Central Mosque on Friday.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
And I'm like, why would
this.
somebody say salam alaikum to you? Yeah, you will not answer. And when there's somebody, you do salam to somebody and they didn't respond, just call that person. Like, are you not the one that I'm saying? Do you think you're better than me? Challenge them. Honestly, challenge them. The worst you will say is, I mentioned inside. So you challenge them next time so that you make peace with yourself.
The Imam also mentioned that we should accept that this is what God said, then you work towards it. I don't feel like I'm in denial because I actually know that this is what God said, but I feel like it's a work in progress for me. If I eventually do fully cover, God's willing, and if I don't, still God willing, that doesn't mean I don't serve God the way I should.
Overall, being a Muslim has made my life better.
Okay, we're going to stop there for a second. So I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you are, follow, subscribe on the YouTube. This is my backup on TT. My main account just got hit because they didn't like this conversation of me letting Muslims talk. Now, what's important for the TT to understand is that Islam causes community guideline problems. Muslims explaining Islam, I got hit with hate speech, proving that even TikTok has a better moral system and better guidelines than Islam has, because Islam allows this. And James, is because you got to make your video bigger too. What video bigger? The TT, the YouTube? I'm making that bigger. Uncle, you need to help me out, man. You're going to have to send me a message and tell me how to do these things. So is Islam going to make the world a better place?
Wow, we see.
So now we got strongly agree. Now this dude strongly disagree. And then strongly agree. Let's see what.
I've disagree. That's a mistake.
Strongly agree.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
So just to remind everybody, right? The topic is overall being a Muslim has made my life better. Made my life better.
Islam is not film or look the way someone look like. Being rich or poor is not attached with someone's religion at all. Me, I am proud to be a Muslim, and I put agreed because in Islam, there is nothing by force. You do something between you and God. If
you notice again how the lies come so naturally to this dude. Islam, there's nothing to do with force. How can they say that when it says clearly that you must fight them till they accept Islam and Muhammad? Fight them until they accept. Isn't that force, guys? Or am I misunderstanding it? Is that force or not force? To fight someone until they accept Islam and the religion. You fight them. How is that not forcing someone to do something they don't want to do?
If you are pleasing someone, that is riyah. We call it hypocrisy. But in Islam, anything you want to do, if you not do it sincerely for the sake of Allah, Allah doesn't like it. That is why I like the religion.
I just chose agree, actually. Well, for me, Islam is a way of life. It teaches me what to do. It guides me on like every aspect of life. And it makes me awesome. There's nothing I'm searching for that I don't have in the religion.
I strongly agree because alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim. I can never choose any other paths except for Islam. It has made my life better. Anything I needed to do when I put Allah first, pray, ask Allah to guide me in the process. He has always guided me. And alhamdulillah, I'm so grateful to be on this path. And inshallah, I'm going to end my life on this path.
I asked myself, like, what if I was really raised as a Christian? I realized that most of the Christian people I know, they work half of their life trying to initiate you into being a Christian. They try to always convince you about how is the way they treat the life and everything, and even a lot of confusing things that they say. And I'm logically, this is very confusing when they say it. I'm like, but how come you can't say that this is confusing? And they know how to say those things. If you're raised as a Muslim, your chances of being selfless is like 150%. It give me freedom to think and everything. And just that the fanaticism that was brought into Islam.
Notice how he changed his mind now. Now he's been given freedom. First it was, it's controlling everything. Now he's been given freedom. You notice how they tried to make it make sense?
I will still be honest about it. Is what is really shaking Islam. Fanaticism. That's it.
I agree because the principles, but I don't think that's going to happen, God forbid. But even if I eventually like maybe say, okay, I'm no longer a Muslim, in the worst case scenario, I feel like the principles and everything I've learned from Islam are going to stick with me. Because there are just some things that just make sense. And I'm like, if other religions don't have it and it does not make sense to me. I'm so grateful to be a Muslim because I've learned so much from it, selflessness, and there's always an answer for everything.
She just said there's an answer for everything. Now this is the typical Muslim. She just said there's an answer for everything, yet she goes against the answers for everything. She literally said that she disagreed with this, that, and the other. She said throughout the hour-long conversation, she said, I disagreed with that. I disagree with this. What he said is wrong. For example, the Sharia is for all people. Why should other people? And now she's like, well, it's taught me some great things. Yeah, to be what? 434? That you're equal to a dog and a donkey. Oh, you see that? This is what I'm saying. These people show intelligence and light, and when you get to that light, you've been fooled. It's just an illusion. Allah made it appear so.
I became really practicing and being conscious. All the situations I've been in, either good, bad, anything, work, life, school, everything, I've always found an answer to it within Islam. My message to everyone watching this, if you are a Muslim, continue to and strive to be a better Muslim. And to the non-Muslim watching this, if you are the one that has a bad notion of Islam, I think you should try to learn more about Islam to clarify that notion.
I'm happy as a Muslim, and if I was going to choose again, I'd choose being a Muslim.
We've come to the end of today's episode.
Well, as you can see, we've come to the end of this episode. So, as I said before, the whole thing is 6 Muslims being brutally honest. And if their honesty has anything to say with what we've seen, we notice that they're honest to a point. Honest to a point. After that, you'll notice how they change their minds after disagreeing with Islam. They're going, yeah, well, I can't agree with that. But since we've got that now, we will just use it because, But then again, it's a typical example of how Muslims are trying their best to make things make sense and for them to remain a Muslim. Now, I pray for especially the guy and the girl that were not brainwashed, that have Christian influence, because the Christian influence is where the problem starts for Muslims. Clearly telling us that if you are a Muslim and you don't follow, for example, the Sharia, then you're out. So now, if there's any Muslim that wants to teach us and tell us about the Sharia, any Muslim, the question is, if a country is run by Muslims and the Sharia is implemented, is that Sharia for all people or just for the Muslims? Is this Sharia for all people or just for the Muslims? Let me just turn that. Is there a Muslim that wants to help me understand that? Is Sharia, if Sharia is brought into a country, is it for all people or only the Muslims? On my screen on the YouTube for the TikTok, there's a guy called LA Apologetics, and he has just started. He's got a video that he wants to promote and get this video out there. For those that haven't watched, his videos are absolutely amazing. So please go in and watch LA Apologetics 2.0, LA Apologetics 2.0, and please go and watch his videos. You've also got a guy called Chris Oki, who's made the videos of all the Psalms. Please go and give him a follow as well. Today we are doing 3 Psalms. 3 Psalms today. I just need to remember where I've put them from. Chris, we're going to play 3 Psalms today because I've been live twice now, and unfortunately I had to run and not play the Psalms. So if you guys can, please go to LA Apologetics and Chris Oki, amongst others. I mean, there's so many amazing people that I have, both as mods and those that are on YouTube helping me. You guys must please go there. We do have a video that I hope you guys go and watch. The video is the one about Quora. There's over 5,000 something, 5,300 maybe people have watched it. I think it's 5,003, 5,000-ish have watched it. So 5,500 have watched it. So I've never had a video go to 10,000. I think 7,000 something has been my highest ever. So if you guys can, it is on my channel on the YouTube, where it says James reveals the true face of Korah, where it's got 5.5 thousand views on it. If possible, guys, please share this, spread it with other people, and watch it. I think it's only 20 minutes long. So I think it is 20 minutes. No, it's 48 minutes on that one. But just again, for the algorithm, let's get this. I'd love a video of mine to go to 10,000. That would be brilliant. But I'm not, if you can, that would be nice. With that said, I'm going to add this to the YouTube now, and hopefully I can get a Muslim on YouTube or on TikTok to help me understand the Sharia. Thank you, Banku. Thank you, Banku. So I would I pray. Whoop. Okay, there we go. So if possible, I would appreciate if any one of you, anyone can, help me to get this going, to get this up to 10,000 if you guys can. But my question is still, after watching the video that we just watched, my question would be, according to the Imam from Nigeria, he said clearly that the Sharia is only for the Muslims. That's the first time I've ever heard that, because if we go to the Quran, I'm going to go to the Quran right now, and we're going to read some of the verses of the Quran. We're going to go to Surah 9:29 and see what it says regarding Islam. It says, fight those who do not believe in Allah and the last day. So the Imam already got caught out for being a liar. The Imam got caught out for being a liar. He said that you, your religion, me, my religion. This is saying, fight those who do not believe in Allah and the last day. We're going to go to a tafsir to understand it better. And do not forbid that what God has made and his messenger have forbidden. Sorry, I read that all wrong. And do not forbid what Allah and his messenger have forbidden. So Imam lied. We're calling out the Imam as a liar again, because that's what Muslims do, is that the first thing they're going to do is lie about what is actually being said. And it's unfortunate that these guys are such liars, because we're trying to give Islam a chance. So I'm going to do something here. We are the ones trying to give Islam a chance so that we can trust it. And hopefully by trusting it, we get some transparency about it. Then it says, such as men that practice not religion of truth, being of those who have been given the book until they pay tribute out of hand and being humbled. He lied again. Let's go to what the tafsir actually says according to Ibn Kathir. So in this, it's an explanation about how the idolaters, now listen to who the idolaters are in this verse. Remember, this is one of the last verses to come from Islam, from Allah. One of the last verses to come from Allah. And according to this, we're going to try to see, let me see, shift 7. Okay. Okay, so let's read this because I'm trying to understand. Remember now, we're doing this with transparency. We try to understand Islam from a Muslim point of view. And it says, Allah commands his believers. In fact, it says, idolaters are no longer allowed into Masjid al-Haram. Right now, this is again towards the end of Muhammad's life. The Imam said, you, your religion, to me, my religion. If the Sharia comes in, it is only for the Muslims, not for everybody. Let's see if it's true. Allah commands his servants, his believing servants, who are pure in religion and person, to expel the idolaters who are filthy in the religious sense. So they are filthy in the religious sense. Let me put this on the screen. Okay, let me just remove this. Okay, there we go. So now on the screen you can see it. It says, who are filthy in the religious sense. This is the same God that just said the Christians and Jews have the Torah and the Injil with them, and they must believe in it. Then he says, from Masjid al-Haram. Now, haram is the opposite of halal. So what he's done is he's made his religion halal and haram, and now he calls the mosque haram. Isn't that lovely? It's like saying, I'm not going to say it. After the revelation of this ayah, idolaters were no longer allowed to go near the masjid. This ayah was revealed in the 9th year of the Hijrah. The messenger of Allah sent Ali in the company of Abu Bakr. In fact, I want to just do a quick search on something. Beautiful. Now, this verse is, according to the 9th year of the Hijrah, is in the year 630 to 631. Muhammad died in 632. So 1 year before Muhammad passes on, Muhammad says, do not go allow the Christians to this place. So if Muslims are going to say to us, no, this isn't true. Oh no, this happened long before this, that, and the other, they are lying, because according to this, it says this happened in the 9th year of the Hijrah, 1 year before Muhammad kicked the bucket. 1 year before Muhammad kicks the bucket, what happens is he gets this revelation. And then it says, let me just see. The messenger of Allah sent Ali to accompany in the company of Abu Bakr that year to publicize to the idolaters that no mushrik was allowed to perform Hajj after that year, nor a naked person allowed to do tawaf around the house. Meaning, until that year, 1 year before Muhammad kicked the bucket, they were doing the naked Haji dance. 1 year before Muhammad kicks the bucket, people were doing the naked hijabi dance, the naked Hajj dance. So 1 year before Muhammad kicks it, he says no more idolaters, no more people that are not Muslim can go and do the Hajj. And also, please, no more naked people. Please, no more naked people. Now would you understand why these people were dripping semen as they walked around? There's a hadith that says that the stone was made black because of the blood from the vijay juice, from the period blood. Over here we can see clearly, according to the Ibn Kathir, the second last year, the year before Muhammad kicked the bucket, the year before, he says, that's it. So they did the naked hijab dance until the year 631, 630 to 631. That's when he did the naked hijabi dance. And then he said, please, no more naked around. I'm over 60 years old now, man. You know, I don't have the Viagra like I had before, man. Yeah, I don't have the power of 30 men. So when the guy said, you know, to you, your religion, to me, mine, and you guys can live and be happy, lies. They lie to you. Then it goes on and says, he says, no mushrik was allowed to perform Hajj after that year, nor a naked person allowed to do tawaf around the house, nor a naked person to perform the tawaf around the house. So from the time Muhammad started as a prophet in 650, 60, 70, 80, 90, in 690, he became a prophet. 590, he became a prophet. For 40 years during his lifetime, they were walking around the Kaaba naked. Everybody, the pagans were, the Christians were, the Jews, according to them. In other words, everybody thought that this was something that you could do in the religion. Even the naked Haji. So when Muhammad now conquers Medina and Mecca, and he moves over to Mecca, all his time as a prophet of Islam in Mecca, these people had, they believed, now this is another inspiration to movies, it was called Free Willy. Don't know if you guys remember about the whale Free Willy, Muhammad, he freed a Willy long before the movie came out. He just inspired the movie Free Willy. So now the people are no more naked tawaf. Then Allah completed this decree, made it a legislative ruling, as well as a fact of reality. So now it's a reality. Abdur Razak recorded that Jabir bin Abdullah commented on the ayah. He said, "O you who believe, verily, the mushrikeen are impure. The mushrikeen are impure. So let them not come near Masjid al-Haram after this year." Meaning, up to that year, it wasn't only Muhammad doing the tawaf and the pagan rituals. It was the Muslims along with the pagans doing the pagan rituals. So 929 is a boom shakalaka. 929 cooks Islam, and it cooks the idea that you can live in harmony with people, and to you your religion and to them theirs, and the Sharia does not affect them. Look how the Sharia is going to affect people soon. He said, no, the Sharia is for Muslims only. That is a lie. I'm asking any Muslim listening in, if you believe that the Sharia is only for Muslims, request. I'm trying to learn today. I want to find out. It says, unless it was a servant or one of the people of the Dimma. Imam Abu al-Awazi said, Umar bin blah 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 Aziz wrote, to prevent Christians and Jews from entering the masjids of the Muslims. Now the question would be, why would a Christian and Jew enter the masjid of a Muslim? You can say it could have been curiosity. They might have been just, wondering what's inside or what's not inside. What do these people pray? Why are they facing the black stone? What's going on? You'd expect, out of curiosity. So when I was in Israel and I went to the Dome of the Rock, out of curiosity, I went in to see. I went in. I needed to see what's going on there. So I went, even though they didn't like it. It was the first thing I do. What's the first thing I do? Wherever I enter a Muslim, wherever they are, first thing I do is I pull up my cross. Pull up my cross. First thing I do. I want that. I want them to see that. I want them to know why I have it around my neck. I want them to know that I'm not a Muslim. Then it goes on and says, and he followed his orders with Allah's statement. Atta said, all the sacred area, the haram is considered a masjid. For Allah said, now watch this, haram is considered the masjid. Haram. What is haram, people? Halal means good, haram means bad. So anything that's bad, the sacred area of the bad stuff, is considered the masjid. The halal and the haram. Could have called it Masjid al-Halal, but they chose haram. Imagine that. No, it doesn't mean that haram. Because in Islam, my brother, you can have a word that means many different things, my brother. So even though it says haram, something that is forbidden to you, something that is bad for you, my brother, you need to understand the word has very many meanings, my brother. Please, it may be haram. We could have called it halal. But haram, it means also good, even though sometimes it means bad. Haram mid Masjid al-Haram. Why don't you just call it Masjid al-Halal? Then Allah said, so let them not come near the Masjid al-Haram at Mecca after this year. The ayah indicates that the idolaters are impure and that the believers are pure. Yet the Quran says that the Christians and Jews are believers, that they must use the books that they have, and if they don't use it, they are disbelievers. This is the intelligence of a Muslim. They don't understand what they're actually writing in these books because they're Muslim. Then it says the believer does not become impure even though it's haram, and said, and if you fear poverty, Allah will enrich you out of his bounty. So your pockets are empty, you just walk around that thing and Allah will fill your pockets. Muhammad bin Ishaq made a comment and said, the people said, our markets will be closed, our commerce disrupted, and what will we earn? And what we earned will vanish. Now notice again how Allah reacts. He's a reactive God. He's a reactive God. He waits for something to happen and then he reacts to it. So the people are like, hey, dude, if you stop the Christians and Jews and all these other people, all these other people that, that enjoy the area, because again, this was used for idol worship. if you stop all of them, we're going to lose business. And when we don't have business, then, our pockets are going to be empty, even though Allah says that He will fill your pockets from His bounty. Then it says, so Allah revealed this verse, meaning Allah reacted again, the God of Islam reacted to something. So again, He's a reactionary God. He waits for something to happen, He reacts. Muhammad needs another wife, He reacts. Muhammad needs another child wife, He reacts. Muhammad needs this, He reacts. A reactionary God, waiting for something to happen, and then sitting and waiting, and then He's like, let me help. I'll give you a new verse. And the verse He says is, and if you fear poverty, Allah will enrich you from His bounty, from other resources, if He wills. If He wills. So listen, guys, Allah will fill your pockets, and you're like, oh, mashallah, and you're like, if He wills. Just by if He wills. So if He wills, He'll help you. If He doesn't will, and then you can't complain, because it'd be like, well, if He wills, and if He doesn't will, but you can free willy anytime. Then it says, and then He says, until and feel themselves subdued. This ayah means this will be your compensation. So now we get an explanation as to what is the compensation. He said, for the closed markers that you feared would result. Therefore, Allah compensated them for their losses. How did He do that? He says Allah compensated them for their losses they incurred because they severed ties with the idolaters by the jizya they earned from the people of the book. Now notice how the God of Islam first praises us and tells us clearly that we are believers. Allah says, if you do not use the Torah and Injil, you are a disbeliever. Now, He's like, let me go back on my word. You guys are going to be called disbelievers either way because you're not a Muslim. So notice now, the Imam that we just saw said, to you, your religion, to me, mine, the Sharia does not affect non-Muslims. Over here, it's like, whoa, hang on a second. You're not a Muslim? There's a thing called the jizya. Now it goes on and says, similar statements were reported by Ibn Abbas, Mujahid, and Ikrimah, blah, 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 and others said. Then Allah said, surely Allah is all-knowing in what benefits you. He says, in His orders and the prohibitions, for He is all perfect in His actions and statements, all just in His actions and decisions, blessed and hallowed is He, be He. Now notice again how Allah is patting Himself on the back. He continuously praises Himself because He's that type of a God. He needs self-assurance all the time, and that's normally from someone that's weak. If you are weak, then you praise yourself continuously. And this is how Islam is working, right? Islam is working because the God of Islam is weak. And because He's weak, we can see that He's not helping out. He's he's just being a silly Billy. He's just being a silly Billy, to be honest, right? And then we can see now, according to Islam, that He is saying, I'm all this wonderful stuff. And then it says, this is why Allah compensated the Muslims for their losses by the amount of jizya they took from the dhimma. Now we are considered the dhimma. We are considered the weak ones, right? Now we're going to learn what the jizya is. Remember the Imam said, Sharia does not affect us. So now Masjid al-Haram, the mosque, Mecca, is now Muslim. There's only Muslims living there. And if you happen to be a Christian, remember what he said. The Sharia only affects Muslims. Let's see if these people are free. Then he says, fight those who believe not in Allah nor the last day. Hang on a second. Why are you fighting people if they are free not to believe? Make that make sense. Why fight people if you just said that they're free to believe? that they can do whatever they want. It says, nor forbid that which has been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger, yada, yada, yada. And then it says, until they pay the jizya. So there's a until. So they need to pay the jizya while existing in a Muslim country. They're not free to do what they want. It says, until they pay the jizya with willing submission. So you basically have to just, say, I give up. Put your hands in the air and go, you know what, that's fine. I give up. That's what they're saying. And feel themselves subdued. Therefore, when the people of the scriptures disbelieved in Muhammad, they had no beneficial faith in any messenger or what the messengers brought. So what now they're saying is, they remember now this is like 1 year before Muhammad kicked the bucket. They should have put the bucket close to a couple of years before. 1 year before he kicks it, Allah now says, because they haven't accepted Muhammad, you can't. They're not Muslim. They're not believers anymore. Yet, in Surah 5, 43 to 47, he condemns them. He calls them out for not using the previous scriptures as true scripture, and he says that you guys have nothing to stand on until you use that scripture, believe in it, practice it, because if you don't, you're a disbeliever. Now he says, oh, these guys, man, have turned their back on Muhammad. Now, why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't they just turn their backs on someone that's that evil? Rather, they followed their religions. Whose religion? Didn't Allah just confirm that we have the books that He gave us and we must use it? Because this conformed with their ideas, lust, and the ways of their forefathers, not because they are Allah's law and religion. They had been true believers in their religions, that fate would have directed him to believe in Muhammad. You see, you can't be a believer unless you believe in Muhammad. How sick and stupid is that? You can't be a believer unless you believe in Muhammad. Just a quick side note, guys. For those of you that buy me a coffee, God bless you and thank you so much. I don't want to sit and call you guys out and name you. So if you do buy me a coffee and you have contributed to a coffee, God bless you. Thank you so much. I totally 100% appreciate it, and God bless you guys. Thank you so much. Let's see. So you can't be a Muslim unless you've accepted Muhammad. Where am I? Believers and believe in Muhammad. Oh yeah. Because all prophets gave good news of Muhammad's advent and commanded them to obey and follow him. So I'm sorry. It says all prophets gave good news of Muhammad's advent and commanded them to obey and follow him. Meaning, every prophet from the 124,000 prophets Allah gave us, it says all prophets gave good news of Muhammad. They gave good news of false prophets. Is that what he's talking about? It says, yet when he was sent, they disbelieved in him, even though he is the mightiest of all messengers. Quran teaches, do not treat them all the same. Don't favor one over the other. He's now the mightiest of all prophets that had no miracles, came with nothing, was a failure. The people laughed at him, told him that his stories were fables and stories of the past. They laughed at him. It says, therefore, they do not follow the religion of earlier prophets, meaning that the earlier prophets were what? Muslim? Because their religions came from Allah, but because these suit their desires and lusts. Talk about desires and lusts. Each time Muhammad got a morning glory, a woman was probably presented to him. Therefore, their claimed faith in the earlier prophet will not benefit them because they disbelieved in the master. Who did they disbelieve in, people? In the master. Who is the master? Who is the mightiest? Who is the last and most perfect of all prophets? Do you guys notice how lost you're going to be a Muslim? The religion teaches clearly that you are not to make a difference between them. They're supposed to be treated equally. You're not supposed to favor one over the other. This guy says that they disbelieved in the master, the mightiest, the last and most perfected of all prophets. What in the world, people? What in the world? This is religion is teaching us that Muhammad was a master of the other prophets, while at the same time saying, make no distinction between them. And this is why Allah's statement came along: fight those who do not believe in Allah, nor the last day, nor for what is forbidden by Allah and His Messenger. The partnership kicks in again. The partnership of Allah and Muhammad kick in again. Can you be a Muslim without Muhammad? No. Is Islam complete with Allah and the Quran? No. What is missing? You need Allah, Quran, you need Muhammad, and you need the Hadith. Islam is incomplete without Allah, Muhammad, Quran, and Hadith. Isn't it, I mean, come on, man. How is this possible that the God of Islam is incomplete without Muhammad if they're not working as one, as partners? And look what it said. He is the master, the mightiest, the last and most perfect of all prophets. Excuse me. He is the most perfect of all prophets. And if you believe in Allah, you have to also believe in His messenger as one. Tell me that's not shirk. Tell me that's not associating partners. That's right. The earth belongs to Allah and Muhammad. It's a hadith that says that, people. The earth belongs to Allah and Muhammad. Can the earth belong to me and Allah? Can I say that? The earth belongs to me and Allah. People would go, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So Islam is incomplete with Allah and the Quran alone. That's a semicircle, like a half a circle, full a circle, like a half a circle when you're looking at the crescent moon. It's incomplete with the second half. Muhammad is that second half. But let's keep going. I'm just reading Surah 929. I'm reading Ibn Kathir, 929 Tafsir. And this is showing us how the Imam lied about saying that if you in a country that is with Muslims only and the Sharia is implemented, it does not affect non-Muslims. So this is my question to anyone that's a Muslim. Do you agree that with the Imam when he said that the Sharia is only for Muslims? Is the Sharia only for Muslims? Let's keep reading. And it says, the honorable ayah was revealed with the order to fight the people of the book. So the ayah was so that they can fight the people of the book. Why fight them if it's allowed to be free and one and you can do whatever you want? To you, your religion, to me, mine. Over here, it's saying that you need to. This ayah came with the order. They were ordered to fight. The order. Who ordered this? The God of Islam. The God of Islam orders people to fight the people of the book. Who are the people of the book? Christians and Jews. The people that Allah called believers, now He's saying, you are not a believer anymore because 1 year before Muhammad kicks it, you guys have turned your back on him, calling him a false prophet. And it says, after the pagans were defeated, the people entered Allah's religion in large numbers. So what had to happen for them to become Muslim? They had to be defeated in war. Who started the war? It says Allah ordered them to fight the people of the book. Then they were given the three options: become a Muslim, pay the jizya, or be unalived. Now, people would become Muslim. People would become Muslim. I just saw that, Phil. I just saw that, brother. Phil hit the nail on the head. I didn't notice this before. Allah has a religion. Enter Allah's religion. So Allah has a religion. Allah was a Muslim, people. Allah had a religion. According to the verse, it says the people entered Allah's religion. If I said to you that you entered God Logic's religion, it means God Logic followed a religion. If I said you followed the Word and I's religion, you are going to be a Christian according to the Word and I. If you follow Allah's religion, then you're a Muslim. That's right. So Allah is the first Muslim. So now, ladies and gents, we have a Muslim before Adam himself, and that would be Allah. Oh, I need to remember that. That's a funny one, that. So they followed Allah's religion in large numbers, and the Arabian Peninsula was secured under the Muslim control. So Allah commanded his messenger to fight the people of the scriptures, the Christians and the Jews, on the 9th year of Hijrah. Now, this again, 1 year before Muhammad kicked that bucket that should have been brought closer to him many years before, he was commanded, Allah commanded him to fight the Christians and the Jews. Notice, it wasn't in self-defense. This was an attack. And then it says, and he prepared his army to fight the Romans and called the people to jihad, announcing his intent and destination. In other words, he was going from where he was to somewhere else to fight people that had nothing to do with him. So these people didn't enter his areas, into his world, wherever he was. He is going to them, his intent and destination. The messenger sent his intent to various Arabs around the Medina to gather forces, and he collected an army of 30,000. Some people from Al-Medina and some hypocrites in it and around it, lagging behind, for that year was the year of the drought and intense heat. Just saying. Messenger of Allah marched heading towards Sham to fight the Romans. So he went somewhere. Notice again, they didn't come to him. He's going to them. But peacefully, obviously. To fight the Romans until he reached Tabuk, where he set up camp for about 20 days next to its water resources. He then prayed to Allah for decision and went back to Medina because it was a hard year and the people were weak, as we will mention. Now notice, he marches on. He's marching along. And he didn't hear the answer, anything like that. And he ends up like, man, that's hot, man. Let's just sit by the water, man, and let's just contemplate this, I'm old now, man. It's 1 year before I kick the bucket. Never mind. Let's go back, guys. Let's go back. So then, Allah willing, he said, pay jizya is a sign of kuffar and disgrace. Now, hang on. The Imam said that you are not affected by the jizya, by Islamic Sharia, by the law of Islam. It doesn't affect non-Muslims. Whoever's living in the land can be as they want to be, no problems. They can believe and do and whatever. The Sharia is only for Muslims. Now it's saying paying the jizya. Remember, there's 3 things. You pay the jizya, you become a Muslim, or you get unalived. So most people don't want to be unalived, so they become a Muslim. And they can't afford the jizya because, they weren't rich back then. And they don't want to be unalived. So they became a Muslim just to avoid it. That's why it says many became Muslim, because the jizya was a sign of kuffar and disgrace. Now, instead of being disgraced every month or every week or whatever it was, they would rather become a Muslim. So they don't want to die. The thing is, that's right, Phil, it's a protection tax, but who are they being protected from? The Muslim will lie to you and say, oh, if there's a war, you will be protected. This wouldn't affect you, yada, yada. Lies. As soon as a Muslim opens his gob, there's going to be lies coming out. Then it says, if they do not choose to embrace Islam, in willing submission, in defeat and subservience, and feel themselves subdued. Now, the Imam lied to us. The Imam said, come on, Akhi, you can be a Muslim in my country. It's not going to affect you. And the half-brains believe that. Our friends were like, "Oh, I didn't know that, man. That's wonderful, man. Kumbaya, man. That's wonderful." Now we're gonna learn about the this thing called jizya. It says, "In defeat and subservience, disgraced, humiliated, and belittled." Remember now, this is not supposed to affect the non-Muslims, yet the jizya is for the non-Muslims. The jizya is as clear as day, saying that this is how they should be treated. And then it goes on and says, therefore, Muslims are not allowed to honor the people of Dhimma or elevate them above Muslims. So they like the bottom of the chain. For they are what? Miserable, disgraced, and humiliated. Who is the one that causes the disgrace, the making them miserable and humiliation? Who does that? That's the God of Islam. Why? Because these people who Allah called believers rejected Muhammad, and because they rejected Muhammad, Allah got butthurt. He was like, if you don't accept my partner, you guys are out of here. You need to accept my partner or you gone, you done for. And the Christians were like, nah, man, we thank you. We don't like PDFs. We good. We don't want that type of person in our families and in our homes. And we don't want that type of, we thank you, but no thank you. So what happens? These people were treated like this. Umar bin Khattab, he says, do not initiate the salam to the Jews and Christians. Now, I believe that Umar bin Khattab, he is probably the last prophet. In fact, he was almost as good as Allah because he gave us verses from the Quran. He was the one that wanted women to be covered so that you don't look at them, because it was back then, they couldn't tell the difference between a believing woman and a non-believing woman. So this PDF over here, this pervert, was standing there watching one of Muhammad's wives take a leak, go into nature. And then he couldn't tell the difference. He's like, hey, Mo, listen, man, I couldn't tell the difference between your wives and these pagans, so make her cover up. And boom, shakalaka, Allah heard him and said, Umar, you're right, my brother. And then what happens? He comes with a new prophecy, a new ding-ling-ling-ling. He's like, oh, I got a new message. Yeah, the woman needs to cover up. See that? And that the six people talking, that's what they should have spoken about. What is the reason for the covering? But they didn't. I wish I was there, man. I'd ask a few questions. So then Umar bin Khattab, who is Allah himself in some instances, demanded his well-known conditions be met by the Christians. That's why he says, do not initiate the salam to the Jews and the Christians. And if you meet any of them on the road, force them to its narrowest alley, peacefully, of course. What an awful religion. What an absolutely awful religion. He says, this is why the leader of the faithful, he is the leader of the faithful, Umar bin al-Khattab, demanded his well-known conditions be met by the Christians, and these conditions ensured their continued humiliation, degradation, and disgrace. In whose name, people? In the name of Allah. In the name of Allah. The believers that were once believers, according to Allah himself, Allah said, these are believers. If they don't use the Torah and Injil, they are disbelievers. Then he says, yeah, guys, you really need to accept Muhammad, man. Please, man, take this PDF, dude, and accept him as your bestest prophet. The bestest, he's the master, he's the bestest. And the Christians and Jews were like, nah, ain't no way, man. This dude, he be boomba with the child, man. Dingy, no way, Jose. And Allah got buttered. He's like, oh, you boys, you're gonna be continued with humiliation, degradation, and disgrace. Now the scholars of the Hadith narrated, blah 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 blah. I recorded Umar ibn Khattab in terms of the treaty of peace he conducted with the Christians of Sham. Now, a treaty, meaning something had to happen for them to have a treaty. In the name of Allah, the most whatever. This is a document of the servant of Allah, Umar, the leader of the faithful, from the Christians of such and such city. When you Muslims came to us, we requested safety for ourselves. So notice what he said. When you Muslims came to us, we requested safety for ourselves. So it's in my house. These people come to my house and I'm requesting safety from them. from ourselves, children, property, and followers of our religion. We made a condition on ourselves that we will neither erect in our areas a monastery, church, or sanctuary for a monk, nor restore any place of worship that needs restoration, nor any use of any of the purpose of enmity against Muslims. Didn't the Imam just lie to us? Didn't the Imam just say that you are fine if you are a non-believer and the Sharia does not affect you? He said the Sharia is for Muslims only. Notice how Imams lie to Muslims. How the Imams lie to Muslims because the Muslims don't know better. I wish that girl would join one of our lives and have a conversation with us. I wish I could reach out to her, find her details, and invite her to a live and ask her these questions. Because she's on her way out. She's got one foot pointing towards the exit. She's on her way out, people. She's on her way out. But again, it's saying we will not prevent any Muslims from resting in our churches. Whether they come by day or night, we will open the doors of our houses of worship for the wayfarer, passerby. Those Muslims who come as guests will enjoy boarding and food for 3 days. Listen to the conditions. They're literally saying that if a Muslim enters your properties, step back. It says we will not allow a spy against Muslims into our churches and homes or hide deceit or betrayal against Muslims. We will not teach our children the Quran, publicize practices of shirk, invite anyone to shirk, meaning to leave Islam, or to prevent any of our followers embracing Islam, if they choose to do so. We will respect Muslims, move from the places we sit if they choose to sit in them. So you sitting down, a Muslim sees your chair and he wants it, you get up and you walk away. We will not imitate their clothing, caps, turbans, or sandals, hairstyles, speech, nicknames, and title names. I am dressed in a niqab today, even though I'm calling it a ninja outfit. So to me, I'm in a ninja outfit, but the Muslims think I'm dressed like Korah. And this says, do not allow them to imitate the way we dress. So they can kiss my black canary. Because it says we will not imitate their clothing. The Christians are signing a pact saying we will not imitate the Muslims. Who the hell wants to imitate a Muslim? Who wants to walk around with a filthy long beard looking as if it's unclipped pubes? Half of these guys walk around with beards so big and so disgusting, it looks like they've never clipped the pubes. Just, my goodness. And then it says, you're not going to have their hairstyle, speech, nicknames, title names, or ride on saddles, hang swords over the shoulders, collect weapons of any kind, or carry these weapons. It says, we will not encrypt our stamps in Arabic or sell liquor. These guys walk around with pubes hanging on their chins, are trying to control everyone. It says, we will have the front of our hair cut. So it was like a marking the front of your head. It was cut, just to see that these were non-Muslims, just to make them look. It says, wear our customary clothes wherever we are, wear our belts outside our waist, refrain from erecting crosses on the outside of our churches and demonstrating them and on our books in public in Muslim fairways and markets. The Imam lied. The Imam lied and said the Sharia does not affect non-Muslims. Look at the pact that was made in allowing Christians to exist among Muslims. It says, we will not sound the bells in our church. It says, except discreetly. Or you can have a little bell, ding-a-ling-a-ling. Muhammad would get confused. He'd be like, oh, I'm getting a revelation. That's why you couldn't ring the bells of the churches. Muhammad would run around trying to find Jibreel. He's like, wait, I hear the bell, Jibreel. I hear the sound of Satan. I just can't find you. Where you at, Jibreel? Where are you looking, man? I can't find you. The ringing of the bell would cause Muhammad to have another epileptic fit. Except discreetly, or raise our voices while reciting our holy books inside our churches in the presence of the Muslims. What are the Muslims doing in the church? Remember, they can go there if they want to sleep. Let's keep going. It says, nor raise our voices with our prayers at our funerals or light torches in funeral processions in the fairway of Muslims or the markets. We will not bury our dead next to Muslim dead or by servants who were captured by Muslims. We will be guides for the Muslims and refrain from breaching their privacy in their homes. When I gave this document to Umar, he added to it. This wasn't enough, guys. It wasn't enough. He says, we will not beat any Muslim. We will not beat any Muslim. Can you imagine? It's the World Cup starting on the 12th. On the 12th of June, the Football World Cup. Now, for non-Americans, that's soccer. The Football World Cup on the 12th is starting. Can you imagine a Muslim nation playing in the World Cup and getting beaten? We will not beat any Muslims. Now, I know, for you guys that don't understand, I'll say this. Words have many meanings, not just Arabic. So when it says do not beat any Muslims, it means don't strike them, but it can also mean don't kick their ass when it comes to football, please. Don't kick them in the backside when it comes to the footy. And we're going to look forward to them getting their behinds kicked. And for those that don't know, in 2010, I was at the World Cup opening game in South Africa versus Mexico. I was there. It was 1-1. This year, South Africa plays against Mexico again on the 12th, and I'm looking forward to that game. I wish I was there, but unfortunately I'm not. But that's just by the way. So I'm looking forward to that. South Africa versus Mexico. That should be, that's the opening game, guys. I hope South Africa gets their visas because they apparently forgot to get their visas to get to the USA. Can't make this up. Viva Manjla. Away to Africa. But it goes on and says, we will not beat any Muslim. These are the conditions that we set against ourselves and followers of our religion in the return for safety and protection. So this is again, for the return of safety and protection, they had to sign this Pact of Ummah. And this Pact of Ummah is guaranteeing their safety and protection from who? Again, the Muslims, the Mohammedans. And then it says, if we break any of these promises that we set for your benefit against ourselves, then our dhimma, which is the promise of protection, is broken, and you are allowed to do with us what you are allowed to do of people of defiance and rebellion. Is obviously to be unalived. Obviously to be unalived. Now, this, guys, is how the Imam lied to us. How the Imam lied, and these people that were gullible, that didn't know their religion, that were, blind to truth, were like, oh, mashallah, oh, he explained, I thought the Sharia was only for I thought the Sharia was for everyone. But he said, no, Habibti, no. The Sharia is only for the Muslims, Habibti. Don't you worry about a thing. MashaAllah. You'd wonder why these people aren't questioning even more. Now, all I would do to a Muslim woman that joined, or Muslim, is read Surah 929. It destroys the fact that they thought that they're acting in defense. That's the first lie. It's not in defense because it tells you that you have to attack these people. Then it tells you how to treat them and how Ummah made them write a promise of what they must do, not even sounding bells, because if they sounded the ting-a-ling-a-ling, Muhammad would run around like an absolute, like a chicken without a head, trying to find Jibreel. He'd be like, I heard a ting-a-ling, Jibreel. I heard it, Jibreel. I just can't find you. Maybe there's a dog in the house and I just can't find you. This is the thing. So an Imam on the 6 Muslims having a conversation lied about that. He lied about it, clear as day. And this is why, without lies, Islam dies. If he was honest and repeated what I just said now, that man and that woman would be like, thanks, this is what I was waiting for. And now that I've heard what you've just said, we're done. Now we're done. He's like, that's it. They would have walked themselves out of Islam, and that's it. No, Marion, I'm just reading it as it was given to us. As it was given to us. This is what the Christians had to write in the Pact of Ummah to make sure that they were safe from Muslims. I mean, if I was a Muslim and when they lie, saying that this was all done in self-defense and this was in retaliation to what was going on, they liars. I'll look into the camera and I'll call you guys out. You guys are liars. You lie to us, you lie to yourselves, you lie to other people, to Muslims as well. When you're doing your dawah and you're doing all this, you lying to people. These are filthy lies and you know it. And what kills me is that you know it, but you don't stop with the lies, you continue with the lies. Shame on you. Shame on all of you liars. Shame on you for trying to push Islam through lies. Because again, you'd never get people to become Muslim if you told the truth about Islam. That's right. So that was me with the six, watching the six have a conversation. I found it very interesting as how the different views regarding Islam can be, how people view Islam differently, even though they all Muslims and they're all supposed to have one book, and the book is supposed to be so clear and it's supposed to be so detailed and so easy to understand. But this shows why us exposing the lies of an imam, pretending to be knowledgeable and speak so, he's trying to be humble, and all lies, it's all lies. All you guys have to do is read Surah 929. 1 year before Muhammad kicked that bucket, this came to us. It tells us about the Haji dance, the naked Haji dance. It says that the people used to do the Hajj naked. They used to do Hajj naked before Muhammad died. 1 year before Muhammad, and then he prohibited it. He says, no, you can't do this anymore. It says clearly, one more year. Let me see. It says, it says, nor a naked person allowed to do the tawaf around the house of the black stone, the tawaf around the house. And this again is in the 9th year of the Hijrah, meaning it is in between 630 and 631. Muhammad kicked it in 632. So the naked tawaf, the naked Haji dance, all this nakedness was stopped only 1 year before. Imagine that, people. 1 year before this was allowed in Islam. But Muslims expect you to think that Muhammad put an end to it as soon as he became a prophet. As soon as he entered this prophethood, he was like, woohoo, no more. Now, did you guys know that because I can read between the lines and I can see the hidden print, it actually says over there, between the nor a naked person allowed to do tawaf around the house, it actually says in brackets, slippery when wet. I'm just saying. Because the floors and all the dripping and stuff and the juice and stuff. You can be like, and I'm just saying, it just, it would make sense that they would look after the people and not want them to get hurt, because, they could be sued and stuff. And, Allah doesn't have money to, needs a goodly loan. So according to them, they must have had little triangles, slippery when wet, be careful, beware. I'm just saying, because according to Islam, these men were dripping and they had no self-control. But yeah, that's right. Beautiful. So while we're doing that, let me just see if I can go to, what Psalm are we on now? I've got it written down over here. We're on Psalm 127. So we need to get to Psalm 128. 128. So now I've got to go and find 128 with my man. Let me see if I go there and I go to, unless there's a Muslim that wants to join. Normally the Muslims join around now. If you want to tell me about the Sharia and who's allowed to do the Sharia, you're more than welcome to. Let me just see if I can find that. 128. Psalm 128. I was subscribed there, Chris. Man, is this Chris? No, dude, I just subscribed to someone that's unbelievable. She got, man, what am I doing? Good thing the screen isn't on, man. What is happening here? I went to Chris Oakey and I got some female come up on the, man, what is wrong with you, man? Let me go find Chris again. Okay, we are on 128. Let's see if I can find that. 128. I found it. There we go. So again, guys, just so you guys know, if you guys are not following LA Apologetics, he is doing an amazing job with the videos that he's making. Seriously, please go and watch the videos that he's made. Support it, like them, comment, share them if you can. 126. I've got 128 on my screen because I'm trying to keep up. Okay, let's see if who's paying attention. 120. Why do I have 128? It says, blessed is the one who fears the Lord, he walks in his ways. You shall not eat the fruit of the labor of your hands. You shall be blessed. Okay, we'll go back. It's okay. I'll go find 126. I'll go 127. There we go, 126. We'll do that 126. In fact, we'll go. Travis says 129. Come on, man. What are wrong with you people, man? Let's see. We'll listen to the song and we'll see if we understand, if we recognize it. Sorry about that, guys. I just remembered that I need to remove. What am I doing? Where did it come from? I need to add it to the screen or else the YouTube can't hear it. What am I doing, man? I'm 126. Go all the way to 130 today.
When the Lord brought back the captives of Zion, we were like those who dream. Then our mouth was filled with laughter, and our tongue with joyful shouting. Then they said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. The Lord has done great things for us. We are joyful. Restore our fortunes, Lord, as the streams in the south. Those who sow in tears shall harvest with joyful shouting. One who goes here and there weeping, carrying his bag of seed, shall indeed come again with a shout of joy, bringing his sheaves with him.
Amen. That was 126. I actually saw 127. We'll go all the way to 130 just to make sure that I've covered them all. And then you guys don't, turn on me like the Muslims turn on each other. 128. I found that one. 128. Let's see, 127. Gotcha.
Unless the Lord builds a house, they who build it labor in vain. Unless the Lord guards a city, the watchman stays awake in vain. It is futile for you to rise up early, to stay up late, to eat the bread of painful labor. This is how he gives to his beloved sleep. Behold, children are a gift of the Lord. The fruit of the womb is a reward. Like arrows in the hand of a warrior, so are the children of one's youth. Blessed is the man whose quiver is full of them. They will not be ashamed when they speak with their enemies in the gate.
Amen again. Amen, amen. Let's go to 128.
Blessed is everyone who fears the Lord, who walks in his ways. When you eat the fruit of the labor of your hands, you will be happy, and it will go well for you. Your wife will be like a fruitful vine within your house, your children like olive plants around your table. Behold, for so shall a man who fears the Lord be blessed. The Lord bless you from Zion, and may you see the prosperity of Jerusalem all the days of your life. Indeed, may you see your children's children. Peace be upon Israel.
Amen again. Man, you guys, if this is Chris Oakey. For those that don't know, Chris Oakey, he is the one that has created all of these songs using the Psalms. And I mean, what a better way, what a great way to go through the Psalms and to actually listen to them instead of listening to my voice, man. You got some person with a silky smooth voice there singing it for us. So we go to Psalm 129, if I can find that one. I saw you say something in the chats, Chris, but I am doing it the hard way. I'm going to go through all of your Psalms just to make sure they're there. 124, 42. Ah, 129 and 130 next to each other. Wow.
Many times they have attacked me from my youth up. Let Israel say. Many times they have attacked me from my youth up, yet they have not prevailed against me. The plow was plowed upon my back. They lengthened their furrows. The Lord is righteous. He has cut up the ropes of the wicked. May all who hate Zion be put to shame and turn backward. May they be like grass upon the housetops, which withers before it grows up, with which the harvester does not fill his hand, or the binder of sheaves his arms. Nor do those who pass by say, the blessing of the Lord be upon you. We bless you in the name of the Lord.
Amen. Guys, I just noticed that, Chris has covered almost all of the different genres when it comes to the music. I mean, he's got like from rock to chill. Now, I'm a chill person, so I like the chill music, the chill vibe. I mean, this has covered everything. Wow. That's just beautiful, man. Absolutely beautiful. Now, guys, so it's easy to remember, we are now going to hit 130, meaning there's only 20 Psalms to go. 20 Psalms to go. Man, maybe reggaeton. I've made some new music with reggaeton and stuff, but let's go to Psalm 130 before we...
Out of the depths I have cried to you, Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Let your ears be attentive to the sound of my pleadings.
Oh, sorry about
You,
that.
Lord, were to keep account of guilty deeds, Lord, who could stand? But there is forgiveness with you, so that you may be revered. I wait for the Lord, my soul waits, and I wait for his word. My soul waits in hope for the Lord, more than the watchman for the morning. Yes, more than the watchman for the morning. Israel, wait for the Lord. For with the Lord there is mercy, and with him is abundant redemption, and he will redeem Israel from all his guilty deeds.
Amen. So, guys, as you guys know, on the James 007, topics, you go there, you can see all the music that I've made so far. And let me see, how do I find that? Where is it now? The topics, where's the topic going to go? The topics. Oh, there we go. So I've got on the James 007 topics, I've got many songs that I've put out so far. But one of the songs that I haven't put out, I want to play to you guys now, which I made especially because my mom used to sing this to me, or to me and my brothers when we were younger, when we were babies. She used to sing the song for me, and it was Mother's Day, her birthday, lots of things going on in the month of May. And I made this song, and I want to share this with you guys. Listen to this.
Yeah. Once tonight. You say.
And this is not out yet on the YouTube, but it's coming out soon.
You loved.
Gentle Jesus, meek and mild, look upon my baby child. If he should die before he wakes, I pray the Lord his soul to take. Gentle Jesus, hear my prayer, keep him safely in your care. Through the night and through the day, guide his little feet away.
The stars are shining bright in the sky tonight, moonlight dancing through the window light. Close your eyes, don't be afraid. God's got angels standing watch where you lay. Every dream, every tear, every little hope that you hold so dear. You are known, you are seen, more precious than the treasures of a king. When the world feels big and you're feeling small, you don't have to fear it all. The Father's hand is holding tight, watching over you tonight.
Gentle Jesus, meek and mild, look upon my baby child. If he should die before he wakes, I pray the Lord his soul to take. Gentle Jesus, hear my prayer, keep him safely in your care. Through the night and through the day, guide his little feet away.
Lay your burdens down and rest. You've already done your best. Tomorrow's waiting down the road, but tonight let heaven hold the load. Every heartbeat, every breath, God is faithful even in the depths. Love surrounds you like the sea, his mercy flows eternally. So sleep beneath his wings tonight, wrapped in everlasting light. Nothing can separate you from the Father's everlasting love.
Safe in your grace,
safe in your everlasting embrace.
Safe in your hands, safe in your love.
Watched by the angels above.
Gentle Jesus, meek and mild, look upon my baby child. If he should die before he wakes, I pray the Lord his soul to take. Gentle Jesus, hear my prayer, keep him safely in your care. Through the night and through the day, guide his little feet away.
Close your eyes, sleep in peace.
Now, I made this song when you're singing to your baby before you fall asleep. I imagine playing this and just rocking them to sleep, man. Oh, listen to that. Listen to that. How can this be haram? How can music be haram? I kid you not, man. That song made my mums cry because she sang the Gentle Jesus to us when we were kids. And I just made that song and I sent it to my daughter and my son. I'm like, when you guys have kids one day, play the song and they sent me a message back going, "What, are you dying?" Can't make it up, guys. I've got many songs all through June going to be dropping on both YouTube, on Spotify, iTunes. So please, if you can, it's James007, and you just put a dash topics or topic, and subscribe, follow, like, share. Come on, man. I'm enjoying the music we've been making. It's good. It's good songs. I mean, I don't know if you guys actually heard the Wheels on the Bus song, or Is It Okay? You guys like the song Is It Okay? Because that's a sad song. But what about None Can Change My Words? There's so many beautiful songs. Of course it would stop. Yep. None Can Change His Word. Let me see if that plays.
Yeah. Yeah.
I switched it off. That's why. Apologies. Testing on YouTube. Anyway, guys. Testing. There we go. Not sure what happened. It went off again. Sorry about that. Yeah. But tomorrow's a new day. God bless you. Stay safe and keep me in your prayers. Amen. Sorry about that on YouTube. I put the mic off. Not sure how I did that. But stay safe, guys, and God bless.